West game early week 1 when they were playing Blue Springs. And that game, Blue Springs won 31-6, and they just kind of dominated from every phase of that game. But for offensively for Blue Springs, a lot of through the air. They like to throw the ball. They're very effective passing the ball. For Rockhurst defense, how can they slow down the passing game of Blue Springs? How can they affect the quarterback, maybe disrupt, get some pressure in there? We watched Rockhurst just a few weeks ago, how they were able to get to West a lot and force some pressure in what was a really close game. Came down to the wire, and it was kind of that pressure they were able to create, which is why Rockhurst, I think, got away with the win there when they were at West. And then for Rockhurst, Cash Lewandowski. Their offense kind of goes as he goes. They have a lot of weapons, but Cash is their go-to guy. And I think for Blue Springs, how can you slow down Cash Lewandowski? If you can take him out of the game, which is a tall order to do, but if you can either affect him, because not only in the running back, he can catch the ball. He can target through the air. He can run it. If you can take away even one of his abilities, that will help them out tremendously. And I think that'll put Blue Springs in a really good spot. Like you said, they've dropped 2 in a row, so they're trying to get back at their winning ways after starting 3-0. And a win against Rockhurst at Rockhurst, that's going to do wonders for them.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And again, Blue Springs on a 2-game losing streak right now. They lost at Staley 2 weeks ago and then came back home and had a tough outing against the Lee Summit North Broncos. And like I said, it was a really weird game. And meanwhile, there wasn't any footage or recording of that game for me to go back and watch. There was a little section I found of just the commentary of what happened per each play in that game. And both teams had a rocky start, and Blue Springs was up at one point, and then Lee Summit North, they just found a way, and they were able to come up with a victory. Obviously, it's not easy to win on the road. It doesn't matter which level of football you're playing, but Blue Springs right now, again, once again on the road, and they're looking to get a big upset victory here tonight. But yeah, Rockhurst 5-0. They've been on a roll this season. Garrett Miller, doing his work. This is his first year starting for the Hawklets, and he's been unbelievable. And we've called a couple of games together, Cade, for Rockhurst, or at least I have. And we go back. The last Rockhurst game you and I did was at Lee Summit West, and that game was exciting. It really was, and we didn't expect going into it. We didn't expect it to be back and forth, but it really was.
Yeah, I know. I think we both kind of thought that Rockhurst was going to kind of handle business. I actually caught up with one of the coaches for Rockhurst before this game, and he was saying, I said, did you kind of overlook West? Did you think that maybe you could come in there and just kind of walk through that game? And he said, no. We took them very seriously. We knew it would be a tough game on the road, and it's exactly what they got. So they kind of expected it more than we did just based off a record and what we'd kind of seen out of West so far to that point. But like you said, Rockhurst was able to come away with that win, and back to my previous point, it was kind of on the back of Cash Lewandowski, who had 4 touchdowns in that game.
Yep. He
had the go-ahead score when it was 28-28 down the sideline to give him the lead 35-28, and they kind of got all the momentum late in the fourth quarter off of that touchdown. So, close game. I think we're in for another close one.
I think we are in for a close one indeed. It should be a good one here tonight. Rockhurst going to be working from left to right to start this off. They're going to be kicking off first, which means they'll be receiving in the second half. Blue Springs will start with the ball, and they'll be working from right to left. Hawklets coming out in their home uniforms tonight. White helmets, blue jerseys, white bottoms. Blue Springs, on the other hand, coming out in their purple helmets with all white jerseys and white bottoms.
Yeah, it being October 3rd, Austin, it's already almost dark out here. The lights are on at kickoff. It's finally getting to feel closer as we get closer to the playoff feel of football, and these games start to mean a little bit more, especially when you're 5-0 for Rockers. Last year they kind of had the similar thing going where they started undefeated and kind of trailed off at the end of the year. So an important win for them to stay undefeated.
And Connor Davrex boots this one away, and we're underway here at Severino Field. End-over-end kick goes into the end zone for a touchback. So we'll get our first look at this Blue Springs offense led by quarterback number 5, Wyatt Erickson, the junior right-handed quarterback, leading the charge for the Wildcats. And this offense, they can put up points, very efficient. We saw this Blue Springs offense in week 1, and they tore through that Lee Summit West defense.
Yeah, and the guy for me to look out for is Zay Height. Height had a huge game. I don't know if you remember that. He had a touchdown against West that week 1 game. So look for them to get to Zay Height and get that passing game established early.
1st and 10 at their own 20 for the Wildcats to open this up after the touchback. Height will motion as Erickson hands it off up the middle. Nowhere to go. He'll be lucky enough to maybe get a yard or two, but they're going to give him 2 yards on the carry to bring up 2nd and 8.
It looks like Kevin Sullivan was able to get in there. Olberg with the carry at the middle, and, I mean, Rockhurst was not having that. I mean, they kind of came out in that heavy formation right off the rip for Blue Springs, and Rockhurst was all ready for that run.
2nd and 8 after the 2-yard carry by Dante Olberg. Trips out to the far side, one out to the near side. Erickson in shotgun with the back lined up to his right. Olberg again gets the call, bounces outside to the left side and gets all the way up to the 26 for only a gain of 4, so it'll bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Markel, the left tackle, did a great job there for Blue Springs. I mean, he held the block and then got up to the second level, picked up another one on a linebacker and kind of sprung that run for Olberg. So good 2nd down there, making it a 3rd and a little bit shorter for him.
3rd and 4 as Olberg got the call the first 2 plays. Similar formation here, except they got doubles out to the near side. Wyatt Erickson all by himself in shotgun here on 3rd and 4 at the 26. Erickson dropping back to pass, fires to the right side. It's caught right around the 37, gets past the 40 and all the way up to the 43 for the first down.
There's that man we were just talking about, Height, with the great catch there, found the soft spot in the zone, breaks down, and the pass is on the money. Interesting look there from Rockers, only sent 3. I don't know how that's going to work out for them. If you give Blue Springs time to pass the ball, they're going to find the open target.
Wyatt Erickson with his first completion of the night to Say Height. And now it's 1st and 10 at their own 43. Trips out to the near side this time. Olberg lining up to Erickson's left. Now he lines up to his right, 1st and 10. Play action from Erickson. There's a flag thrown, and the ball's going to be caught by Banker. He's down the middle, and he'll get past the 30 all the way up to the 27. But again, a flag was thrown in the middle of the play, so we'll see what the call is on the field. But we do have an injury timeout as we have an injured Hawklet player on the field. So we'll step aside for now as we have an injury timeout on the field. No score here with 10:09 left to go here in the first quarter.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know.
0.
Hey,
cash.
I'm no ding-dong. Call us.
Oh, man.
Don't forget the
Okay.
816,
He'll be
silly. Ask for me,
Just a little shaken up.
Dory.
Rocker sent a blitz, so he came from his linebacker spot.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri high school football right here on a10varsity.com. We had an injury timeout just a moment ago. Cash Lewandowski got banged up after the previous play. And, Cade, we were talking about it just a second ago. It looked like Rockhurst brought a lot of pressure, and Cash just got banged up there. But he was able to get up off of his own power and jog off the field.
Well, to note, too, I mean, Rocker's pressure did not get there. Now, granted, the holding call might be the reason why the blitz wasn't able to get home, but they got it downfield. And like you said, it was a big completion, but that's going to be erased with that holding call, make it 1st and 15.
So now 1st and 15 after the holding call. Erickson looking downfield, rolls out to the right, and he's going to take it himself past the 45, gets close to midfield, but he'll go down at the 49-yard line of Blue Springs.
I mean, Erickson, we talked about it. He's got a great arm, but, man, he's got speed, too. We haven't really mentioned his legs. And right there you kind of saw a heavy dose of his running capability. And not only he wasn't content, he didn't slide. He ran the linebacker over to get that extra 2 or 3 yards to make this a 2nd and a lot more manageable.
And a good run from Wyatt Erickson on 1st and 15. It now brings up 2nd and 4, a gain of 11 on the quarterback keeper. Trips out to the near side this time. Erickson's going to hand it off to Olberg to the left side. Gets all the way up to the 47.
Yeah, great decision there by Erickson. Looks like a little bit of an option. He decides to give it to Olberg, and Olberg does the rest, picking up the 1st down as this drive continues for Blue Springs.
2 first downs on this drive for the Wildcat offense, as they've now chewed away 3 minutes here in this first quarter. And one thing we saw with Blue Springs all the way back to week 1, they like to play the time and possession game.
Absolutely. I mean, the Wildcats, if you let them take out the whole first quarter, they're willing to do that, especially in a game against a powerful team like Rockers. You want to keep that offense off the field.
No doubt about that. Trips out to the near side this time, one out to the far side. 1st and 10, Erickson in shotgun. He'll give the ball again to Olberg and gets a few yards all the way up to the 45. They'll rather give him a gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, not a lot of room there for Olberg, but very patient running, kind of hesitated in the hole, bounced back left just to try to find a little bit of a seam, able to pick up at least some positive yards.
We'll expect a lot from this run game tonight from Blue Springs. It's been something that they've been leaning on here at least to start this season off. But you saw a moment ago on that 11-yard quarterback keeper by Wyatt Erickson. It's not just Oberg that you have to worry about. You also have to worry about Erickson as well, taking it himself. Oberg's going to motion out to the right here on 2nd and 8. Over the middle, caught at the 42, and he'll get all the way up to the 40. Brock Banker on the reception. It'll be close to the first down marker, but it won't be enough, so it'll bring up 3rd and short here for Blue Springs.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't just hand it off to Oldberg here. Similar situation their second down a minute ago. He's able to pick it up, maybe an outside run, try to get the edge. I'd like it to the right. Let's play to the strong side of the field, give them some room to work with. And on that last play, what a catch. I mean, Erickson puts the pass right on the money, a great catch. And like you said, he kind of reached for the first down, and then they called him down a few yards short.
Only 2 yards to go to reach the first down marker at the 38-yard line. 3rd down and 2. Oberg again gets the call, bounces outside to the left side. He's going to get close to the first down marker, and I think he got just enough as he'll get a gain of 2 yards. It's going to be close. I'm not quite sure where he got pushed down, but I think he's going to be just a couple of inches short.
Yeah, Teague, the fullback, with a great block out there. You kind of saw him get to the edge on the left side, Oberg, that is. He kind of put his hand in the back of his lead blocker and bounced it out. And like you said, made it very close for that first down, but might have been a possible penalty.
And it looks like we do have a penalty on the field, as we had a false start penalty on Blue Springs, and it must have happened literally right before the snap got off. So now instead, it'll bring up 3rd and 7, a 5-yard false start penalty, pushes back the Wildcats at the Rockhurst 44. Less than 7 minutes to go in the first half, still no score. Erickson looking downfield, screen play, and this one's going to be batted down and incomplete. Batted down right at the line of scrimmage. It looked like Ben Booker got a piece of it, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, great play there by Booker off the edge. They kind of sent a blitz there, sent 3 D linemen and a linebacker looping. They put a lot of pressure, and they got home quick on Erickson, giving him no time to get that ball out, and a turnover. A 4th down will ensue, a punt to get the ball. Now we should see Rockhurst for the first time.
Cesar Romero standing back at his own 41-yard line. Blake Thomas back deep to receive at his own 10. And Romero barely gets this one off. It's a high booming kick. Fair catch called by Blake Thomas, as there was a little bit of a bump there at the end of the fair catch, but no fair catch interference will be called, as Blue Springs goes 3 and out on their first drive, and now we'll see the Hawklet offense for the first time. But, Kay, just talk to me real quick. What do you see out of this Rockhurst offense?
Yeah, I think if Lewandowski's okay, I mean, we got to reiterate, he got banged up there in that first drive. We just talked about how much of a vocal point he is for this Rockers offense. So it'll be interesting to see if he's out there for this offense, and B, if he's out there, I think you get him going. You hand him the ball, you pass it to him out of the backfield. Because as long as you can get your star player going, you're going to be looking good.
Well, as you like to call him, Kate, he's Mr. Momentum. So we'll see if Mr. Momentum can momentum the Hawklets all the way down the field for a touchdown here on their first drive here with 6 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, and Cash Lewandowski is in the backfield, so good to see he's all right. He's going to motion out there.
Trips out to the far side. Gary Miller on 1st and 10, swings it out to Lewandowski. Down he goes behind the line of scrimmage. And Blue Springs wasted no time bringing Cash down. It's going to be a loss of maybe 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, what a great play, heads-up play by the D-back for the Wildcats. I mean, he was all over that. As soon as Cash got the ball in his hands, he was driving him down. And we talked about it, trying to get the ball in your star player's hands. That's exactly what Rockers wanted to establish there. But if you're Blue Springs, on the other hand, you kind of know that's what they want to do. So way to be ready to see what Cash had on the first play of this game.
Trips out to the far side again. Miller dropping back to pass, swings it out to the near side. It's caught by Thomas as he gets pushed back behind the 10-yard line and out of bounds, but they're going to call for the reception at the 13-yard line, so that's where they'll mark him down. He'll be just short of that first down marker, but mind you, the Hawklets are going to have to get all the way up to the 22 for the first down, and they have the ball at the 19.
Yeah, good little comeback route there for Thomas, just to haul that one in, and then, they're going to give him the forward progress, even though, like you said, he got driven backwards and out of bounds.
Correction, it's the 14-yard line on the near side. Here on 3rd and 7, Another screen play out to Lewandowski. Finding his way to the first down marker. He's going to be short, as it'll be a gain of maybe 2 or 3 yards on the pass play. And a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, I mean, and they went to Cash twice out of the backfield. Quick passes to him, got him the ball, gave him an opportunity, but props to Blue Springs. They were all over it. I mean, nowhere to go either one of those times, as he probably netted about 0 yards, lost 2 and then gained 2. So a punt ensues for Rockers. Both offenses unable to find points in their opening drive. Like we said, this could be a close game.
Robbie Tesdale back deep to punt, standing at his own 2-yard line for the Hawklets. And back deep to receive is Brock Banker, standing at around midfield. This one's a line drive punt, as it takes a Hawklet bounce past the 50 all the way up to the 45 and out of bounds at the 43. So that's where Blue Springs will go right back to work for their second drive of the game.
Yeah, and I'd like to see them get the pass going here. I mean, we kind of saw it there for Erickson. If they have the time in the pocket, he was able to hit Height once. He hit Baker, even though it got called back on a holding call. So receivers are getting open on this Rockers secondary. The run was working. A lot of things were working for this Wildcats offense. Just kind of, let's get rid of those penalties. If you can clean up those penalties, I think that drive wouldn't have stalled out the way it did.
4 minutes and 44 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And the Wildcats will go right back to work for their second drive of the game. They went 3 and outs. They chewed away about 5 minutes off the clock on their first drive as they received the ball to start the game. But now they get the ball right back here with 4:44 to go in the first. Still no score here between the Wildcats and the Hawklets. Trips out to the far side as Erickson drops back to pass, looking downfield. He's got all the time in the world, fires over the middle, caught, and he'll get tackled right around the 42. And again, Brock Banker comes up with the catch.
Yeah, great job by the Wildcats offensive line. They bought all the time for Erickson he needed. And like I said, on that third down earlier they had, you give him time in the pocket, he's going to find somebody open, and that's exactly what he did there on that first down play.
Less than 4.5 minutes to go here in the first. A good catch there by Banker. It's enough for a Wildcat first down, and now they're all the way up to the 41-yard line of the Hawklets. Empty backfield here for Erickson. He'll send Oberg in motion. Now he stands to his right. Hand off up the middle to Oberg. Gets a couple there, only a gain of 3.
Yeah, Coppinger, the linebacker, able to wrap him up and bring him down. Oberg, not a lot of room to work with. It seems so far for me, for Blue Springs, their runs to the outside, they're able to get the edge and a little bit more yards. These runs up the middle are going to be a little bit harder to establish, as they've only netted a few yards every time they run it up the gut.
2nd and 7 at the Rockhurst 38. A little bit of movement up front from Rockhurst, as we'll have a flag on the field. Could be a false start penalty once again. This would be the second false start penalty on Blue Springs, if so.
Yeah, that's not what you want if you're Blue Springs. It looks like it is going to go against Rockers, though, so it's going to make this a second and a lot shorter now, Austin.
So it looks like Rockhurst picks up an encroachment penalty, as again, I saw some movement up front before the snap, and you just never know who moves first. I mean, for the offense, it's obviously very hard to stand still right before the snap. I mean, if you even move a muscle, you'll get the whole front line of Rockhurst moving right away. So
yeah, look, Austin, it's allergy season. You know what I mean? People are sneezing. You can't sneeze before the snap.
That's true. Oberg again with the call as he tries to fight his way up to the 30, but nowhere to go. And he'll be lucky enough to maybe get a yard or two. Nowhere to go for Oberg, and now they'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, great run defense on this drive for Rockers. We kind of saw it. Blue Springs was able to get a few runs to go on that opening drive, but this time around, nothing.
So now 3rd and short. Rather, it'll be 1st and 10 here. Initially, we thought it was 3rd and short. But again, it brings up 1st and 10. Trips out to the far side. Erickson all by himself in shotgun. Dropping back to pass. Lobs one to the near side. Incomplete. And over the head of his intended receiver, Devin Staley. So the incomplete pass stops the clock here with 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 at the 31. Erickson lines up in the pistol here on 2nd and 10 as he'll hand it off to Olberg. No, it's going to be an end around to Staley, trying to bounce his way outside the line of scrimmage and gets all the way up to the 25.
Yeah, great misdirection there by Blue Springs. I mean, got the run going one way, then you bring back the jet sweep, headed back to the far side of the field, and you have a lot more real estate to work with. And he was able to make a man miss, pick up about 5 yards there, make this 3rd down, and around 6 to go still here for Blue Springs. This is a big 3rd down too, you know. This is kind of a fringe field goal range, but nothing's guaranteed when you send the kicker out there. You'd really like to get this 1st down and try to find some points here on the 2nd drive for their offense.
Trips out to the near side this time as we have a whistle before the snap, and I think Rockhurst is going to use one of their first timeouts here in the first half with 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go. 3rd and 5 at the Rockhurst 26 when we come back.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football right here on A10varsity.com. Blue Springs takes the field here on 3rd and 5 at the Rockhurst 26 after the timeout from the Hawklets. Bunch formation out to the far side. And a keeper here. Still on his feet. Past the 15 all the way up to the 10-yard line. And that'll set up shop for the Wildcats. It'll bring up 1st and goal. Devin Staley there this time, lines up in Wildcat and runs it up the middle for the 1st.
Staley, coming in the Wildcat formation, and I mean, that's a receiver running like a fullback. I mean, he ran over the linebacker and the safety to pick up some much-needed yards. I mean, when that play got going, it didn't look like it was going anywhere, but what a play by Staley to pick up about 15, 16 yards, and that's going to set up almost a 1st and goal. So need about 10 yards, and they'll have 3 to go to the goal line. So huge opportunity now for the Wildcats to find some points.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line, so not quite 1st and goal. As Erickson keeps it himself up the middle and gets past the 10 all the way up to maybe the 6-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 7, so a gain of 4 from Erickson.
And what I'm seeing out of Blue Springs here early, I mean, a lot of jet sweep, fake motion, kind of get the defense going one way, run it the opposite way, So Blue Springs, these misdirections, I mean, it is messing with Rockhurst defense. It's creating a lot of lanes for these runs to get going. So back-to-back times there, just a keeper from the player at, like we said, it was Staley, the receiver, but then the quarterback keeps it himself, both times picking up good yards.
2 receivers out on both sides here on 2nd and 6 with less than a minute to go. Erickson looking to the right, dropping back to pass, fires over the middle, batted up in the air, tipped, caught, touchdown Blue Springs. It's Zay Height that comes down with the catch off the tip. And the Wildcats take a 6-0 lead here towards the end of the 1st.
I mean, you've got to be kidding me. How about Height? Talk about right place, right time. When you bat a football, I mean, that can go anywhere. And it went right to Zay Height with a nice touchdown there. As it looks like the luck might be on the Wildcats side here early in the first quarter as it winds down, or late in the first quarter as we wind down here. So 6 points for Blue Springs. Height, we talked about it. He had a touchdown in the first game we called. He's got a touchdown in this one too. So Height is really establishing himself as that #1 go-to target for Olberg.
The extra point is up and good, and with 49 seconds to go here in the first quarter, Blue Springs takes a 7-0 lead on the road against the Rockhurst Hawklets. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break, but we'll be back as Rockhurst will get the ball again for the 2nd time tonight when we come back.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
End over end kick as it goes into the end zone for the touchback. Sorry about what you saw there a second ago. We were trying to fix the situation here with our clock camera so that way you guys watching at home can keep track of how much time is left per quarter. So we do apologize for that. But we got it up and running, and hopefully we'll be squared away with the clock camera moving forward. But Blue Springs leads it 7-0. Once again, 49 seconds to go. Rockhurst will take over for their second drive of the game. And what does Rockhurst need to do on this drive to get themselves back in this game? Because it seems like if they don't get a touchdown here, Blue Springs has an opportunity to take the momentum away from Rockhurst early. Miller looking to the left side. It's caught out at the 20, and he'll get tackled at the 21. Cash Lewandowski on the catch.
Yeah, I think for Rockers, you just don't panic. I mean, it's 7-0. It's super early in this game. I'd like to see more things downfield. I mean, right there, that's third play they've had behind the line of scrimmage, and every time it's gone nowhere. So I think you need to get away from that a little bit. Let's establish the run, and let's try some passes downfield. You have weapons. Let's just get them the ball.
So 20 seconds to go in the first. As we have about actually the game clock and the score clock, or the game clock rather, and the play clock are the exact same here, but Rockhurst going to get one more play off before the end of the first quarter. Quick pass out wide. It's caught by Lewandowski again. Close to the first down marker. He might have picked up the first as he steps out of bounds with 1 second left. So Rockhurst going to have one more play before the end of the first.
And that was dangerously close from being a Cash Lewandowski to the house. I mean, Mr. Momentum was trying to give them a shot there, just ran out of real estate on the sideline, but he saw that green in front of him, and you could see that kind of kicked it up an extra gear once he got the first down, or once he got close to the first down marker.
So one more play here before we end the first quarter here at Severino Field on the campus of Rockhurst High School here in Kansas City, Missouri on a beautiful October night. Another handoff up the middle, and maybe a yard or two will be picked up, and that's how we will end the first quarter here at Severino Field. Blue Springs, they lead it 7-0 here over the Rockhurst Talklets. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break, but when we come back, it'll be 1st and 10 at the Rockhurst 31 when we come back. 7-0, Wildcats lead it here over the Hawklets.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football right here on 810varsity.com. Austin Eckert here with you. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts as we enter the second quarter here between Blue Springs and Rockhurst. It's a 810 varsity top 20 matchup tonight. Blue Springs coming in as the 20th ranked team in the rankings, and undefeated Rockhurst coming in at 5th this week in this week's rankings. So it should be a good one here for these next three quarters. We've already seen some good action here in the first quarter. Just, Kate, really quick, after the end of the first quarter, what were some of your biggest takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Blue Springs, it was their ability to kind of be all over this Rockers offense. We talked about those plays behind the line of scrimmage. They're going nowhere. I mean, Blue Springs is really playing kind of those hard flats, looking for that underneath plays, and Rockers is going to have to maybe try something downfield because Blue Springs is loading the box, anticipating the run, anticipating these short passes, and I think that's where Rockhurst offense is kind of stumbling.
We'll see if the Rockhurst offense can pick up some steam here in the opening moments here of the second quarter as Garrett Miller and the Hawklet offense retake the field as we start the second quarter, as Rockhurst will be working from right to left with Blue Springs working from left to right.
Still waiting here for the officials to set it. I mean, it is a perfect night. I would say the only thing that make it better, it could be a little cooler. It's a little muggy out there for these guys, a little warm night, but still Friday night under the lights, an important game, like you said, a top 20 matchup.
Trips out to the far side. Miller dropping back to pass. There's a whistle. And it must have been blown right before the snap.
Yeah, unfortunate for Rockers because I think Miller, you saw it right there. He saw that lane. He was about to take off what would have been a first down.
It's going to be an encroachment penalty on Blue Springs as that will move Rockhurst up 5 yards. So now to bring up 1st and 5 at the 36.
And honestly, like I said, I think that's actually a good result for Blue Springs because there was a massive lane there for Miller who would have scampered for the first down and maybe some extra. So now just a 1st and 5.
1st and 5 here for the Hawklet offense, here to open up the second quarter. 7-0, Blue Springs leads it. It's a toss play to Lewandowski. Reverses field, past the 45, past midfield, bouncing outside to the 45, and he'll go out near the 35-yard line of Blue Springs. And Mr. Momentum gets the Rockhurst offense going.
Oh, how about that? I mean, Cash on the toss play to the right, you're going to have to ask him if that was by design or just pure vision on his part. The whole defense, the whole D-line, everyone's going to the right. All of the motion of the entire play is to the right side of the field, and Cash puts his foot in the ground hard, cuts back left, and he's got nothing but daylight. A big lane to pick up a ton of yards there, and a massive first down for Rockers, their biggest play of the game by far.
So they'll mark Lewandowski out at the Blue Springs 38, so that's where Rockhurst will go back to work here after the run as we have a timeout on the field, as I think Rockhurst is going to use their second timeout here in the first half with 11 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the second quarter. Blue Springs leads it 7-0. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Welcome to Baker University, nestled in the heart of small town Baldwin City. Our small class sizes means that you'll never get lost in the crowd, and your professors are always within reach. Baker University is more than just a place to earn your degree. We are a community of learners, performers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and competitors from around the world. Baker University empowers students to achieve their full potential in a diverse and ever-changing world. Visit bakeru.edu to get started.
We welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football right here on A10varsity.com. Austin Eckert here. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts. As Rockhurst takes their second timeout here with 11:50 to go in the second quarter, they retake the field as they have the ball at the Blue Springs 38 here on 1st and 10. Trips out to the far side again. Miller dropping back to pass, looking downfield, rolling out to his right. And fires it, and it's caught right around the 35 as he'll get all the way up to the 30, past the 25, down to the 20, and he'll go down hard at the 18. And that's Gary Miller's biggest pass play of the game so far. And, you know, we talked about Cash Lewandowski being, quote, Mr. Momentum. I think that run really got them going.
Yeah, and I mean Blake Thomas, who in my opinion so far has been their number one receiver on the games I've seen from them, and right there with another big-time play, finding the space, and then obviously able to work in that area and pick up a ton of yards, making a few people miss. And, yeah, they're rolling now on offense. 2 big chunk plays back-to-back, and like you said, the momentum is on this Rocker sideline. You can feel it from the student section.
11:10 to go in the second quarter. Miller takes the snap, hands it off to Lewandowski. Nowhere to go as Blue Springs showed pressure right away and stumped Lewandowski right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that play didn't work the way they wanted to, but I like the design there. You just had the ball in Thomas's hands. You faked the jet sweep to him, try to get those linebackers, eyes in the backfield, working to the left side, and then pound it back up the middle with Lewandowski, but just good discipline by those Wildcat linebackers to not over-pursue on that jet sweep.
So now 2nd and 10 after the gain of nothing perhaps from Lewandowski. Miller looking downfield, fires it to the near side, incomplete as he tried to connect with Tristan Johnson.
Yeah, Staley, great coverage right there. I mean, we call that airtight coverage, nowhere to go with that one. And I think on the flip side of that, Miller felt a little bit of pressure, just had to get that one out of there.
So the incomplete pass makes it 3rd and 10 at the Blue Springs 18 with about 10.5 minutes to go here in the first half as Rockhurst is looking to punch it into the end zone, looking to tie this game up here at 7 apiece. And they let Blue Springs drive down the field and score on their second drive of the game. Empty backfield here for Miller. And fires it over the middle, incomplete. There was some contact there right around the goal line, but I think they are going to throw the flag here for pass interference.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think I would not have thrown it. I think it would be a good no call. They're kind of just being handsy both ways. I mean, maybe he blocked him for a little bit too long, but the Wildcats, I mean, they're pressing. That's press man coverage one-on-one. They're letting you get a 50-50 ball downfield, so I really like Rockhurst attacking that downfield. You might as well if they're going to give you those one-on-one balls, especially when we're talking about a guy like Blake Thomas. I mean, he's got a lot of speed. That is a tall order to ask to press Blake Thomas and then go one-on-one with him. So I like the pass downfield, and like you said, possibly a pass interference.
Well, in the defense's eyes, it's better to give up a pass interference penalty than a touchdown, right? So, if all comes to worst, I mean, that's when you got to draw the pass interference penalty. But after the penalty, it'll bring up 1st and 10 here for Rockhurst as they'll have the ball at the Blue Springs 9, so it'll bring up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and I think it's a tall order for those corners to go one-on-one in press coverage and not draw a pass interference, because if you're not doing that, like you said, you're going to give a touchdown.
No doubt about that. Let's see what Rockhurst can do here inside the Blue Springs 10. Looking to punch it into the end zone, looking to tie it up.
Thomas in the slot. Look for him.
Miller lining up under center here on 1st and goal. Handoff play to Lewandowski. This is actually 3rd and short, but he nevertheless picks up a 1st down, so now it'll be 1st and goal. This time it'll be inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, good catch, Austin. I think we jumped the gun a little bit there, thinking they already had the 1st and goal, so a good 3rd down call. I mean, you got to think right there. They didn't get that 3rd down. They'd have a big 4th down, so great carry there by Lewandowski to make sure he gets the 1st.
10 minutes to go here in the first half. 7-0, Blue Springs leads it. Miller lining up under center again here on 1st and goal. Pitching it outside to Lewandowski as he tries to weave his way towards the goal line. He's going to come up just short, but he does pick up a couple of yards there, maybe a gain of 4. And it'll bring up 2nd and goal
Austin,
at the 2.
Going back to the Rockers versus Lee Summit West game, we remember a couple of these situations, 4th and short, in goal, a couple of yards, they go to the fullback. So don't be surprised to see Coppinger. He's made some plays on defense. He's a linebacker. He's also their lead blocking fullback, and they like to give him the ball in these short yardage kind of plays. He's a big, powerful back.
That is true. Henry Coppinger last week in that 35-0 win over Bishop Miege, he had a 20-yard pick six with about 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and that's what pretty much put the game away for the Hawklets as Lewandowski gets the call again, but there is going to be a whistle blown right before the snap. And it looks like this could be coming back on Rockhurst.
Yeah, that is a massive penalty there. I mean, you only needed 2 or 3 more yards to get a touchdown, but actually it's going to go against Blue Springs, so this will break well for Rockers.
You could just tell like who the call is going to be on based on where both teams are kind of moving. After the play is blown dead. Like if you see the offense, kind of walking, away from where they were,
heads down, looking depressed. Exactly.
Pretty much, but. It's another penalty here for Blue Springs. I mean, the penalties have been adding up here for the Wildcats on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
I mean, even though they drove down the field and got a touchdown, they had 2 holding calls that that pretty much prevented them from scoring a lot faster. But it's something to watch out for.
Those penalties pretty much stalled that drive out. So, I mean, for Blue Springs, you're coming into the number 5 ranked team in the Metro on 810 Varsity's top 25. You cannot make mental mistakes and win this game. You've got to clean it up if you want to stay in this football game. I mean, I get it. They're up 7-0, but like you said, this could be 14-0 if they didn't have those penalties on that opening drive, or even maybe 10-0.
Well, Henry Coppinger checks into the game for Rockhurst. We'll see if they go to him here on 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Nowhere to go as Blue Springs brought the pressure. Oh, wait. Hang on for a second. I don't think he was down, but he's going to be just short of the goal line. I thought he got tackled right away, but it seems like he fought his way for an extra yard.
Yeah, big number 69 new for Blue Springs. What a play by him. I mean, he shot in there like a rocket, and that is a big defensive tackle who's going to grab Cash and slam him down hard. But like you said, he almost broke off that initial tackle and almost sneaked in there. So still just a few more yards, and look who's lining up right behind Miller. Look for Coppinger here.
3rd and goal at the 2-yard line. QB sneak from Miller. Does he get in? Yes! Touchdown Rockhurst. Garrett Miller calls his own number. And we're an extra point away from a tie game.
Yeah, definitely. That is your classic quarterback sneak right there. Not really a tush-push, as I think a lot of people are getting familiarized with as a quarterback sneak. But that is your traditional quarterback sneak there. And a great job by Miller just kind of getting right behind his center and laying over the top of him. And a great block by the center, Novell, to able to push that DT. We just talked about him making a play a second ago. Able to push him back and then sneaking in there for a touchdown to tie this game up, hopefully.
Connor Deverex on to attempt the extra point. Snap down, kick is up, and it is good. So now we're tied here at 7 apiece. Here in the second quarter with 8:17 to go. We have a tie ball game and a pretty good ball game on hand, folks. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right here on A10varsity.com. We'll be back as we'll enter a quick commercial break.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
We welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football right here on 810varsity.com as Garrett Miller found his way into the end zone on the quarterback sneak from the 1-yard line to make it 7-7. 8:17 to go here in the second quarter as Blue Springs will look to retake the lead here in the final moments of this first half.
Yeah, great drive by Rockers, establishing the run, a couple of big-time passes, and great accuracy by Miller, and then deservingly so, gets to call his own number there at the goal line to get the touchdown. Just a good answer for Rockers, and now the pendulum swings back to Blue Springs as they try to get their lead they just lost right back.
Henry Tsevis to kick it away for Rockhurst. It's a line drive kick, end over end kick, and it'll be bobbled into the end zone by Zay Height, but it doesn't matter as the official will rule it a touchback, so Blue Springs will get the ball at their own 20 here for their third drive of the game. And going back to their previous drive of the game, it was a short touchdown pass from Wyatt Erickson to Zay Height, who bobbled the ball up in the air for a second, but came down with the catch. Luckily, if he didn't come down with the catch quick enough, there were two Rockhurst defenders literally right next to him ready to come up with the interception.
Austin right there, he just bobbled the kick return and didn't hold on to it, so we were maybe that close from him dropping the touchdown pass. So great hands by Height on the touchdown. If he picked a play to drop it and it picked a catch or a play to catch it, he picked the right ones with the touchdown and the kickoff.
No doubt about that. 8:17 to go here in the first half. Trips out to the far side again, one out to the near side. Erickson dropping back to pass, swings one over the middle, incomplete over the head of his intended receiver, Brock Banker.
Yeah, and that was dangerously close to being intercepted. The D-back for Rockers, I don't think even realized that ball was coming right to him as it hit him right in the thigh and falls harmlessly down to the ground. But, what an interception there would have done for Rockers. This place would have erupted. So no harm, no foul, 2nd and 10.
Well, you saw Rockers there also bringing a lot of pressure up front. So, when you look at, just the battle of the line of scrimmage up front for both teams, these two teams are pretty evenly matched in terms of the line of scrimmage up front, both offensively and defensively. As we have a run play up the middle past the 30, it'll be enough for another Wildcat first down.
Yeah, we were just talking about the battle up front. That time the Wildcats win it with those big offensive linemen working to that second level, picking up a key block on the linebacker there, and able to spring that for a good run for Olberg. The linebacker was Lewandowski, I think, got picked up on a block there. So great job by Blue Springs. And, Rockers has done a great job all night mixing up their fronts. I've seen 3-down linemen. I've seen 4-down linemen. I've seen 3 with a looping linebacker for a blitz. So you're sending 4. So just keeping it different looks for Blue Springs, trying to keep them on toes, trying to throw Erickson off.
1st and 10 at their own 32. Play action from Erickson. Swings one to the near side, incomplete as this one's tipped. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10. And a good play up front by, it looked like Brennan Murphy came up with the tip there, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Staley was the intended receiver there for Blue Springs. And I know for Rockers, a lot of their players play both ways, but For Blue Springs, not so many, but Staley, he's a starting corner and a receiver. A lot of speed for Staley, so out there on the little bubble screen, I like that. Trying to get it into your playmaker's hands, just even a better play by the Rockhurst defensive lineman, able to bat that one down.
And that's the second time we've seen the Rockhurst front line bat down a pass from Erickson, so maybe we'll see more of that tonight. And incomplete, almost intercepted out there on the far side by Peter Nixon.
Yeah, and his man was getting open, but the unfortunate thing there for Erickson is he had no time. As before that was snapped, we saw Coppinger walk down, back off, then Lewandowski, who he never even saw, loops around, comes in untouched, and even gets a good hit on the quarterback. So throwing off the timing on third down or on second down, making this now a massive 3rd and 10, and Rockhurst trying to get the ball back to their offense to get this lead.
Less than 7.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 2 receivers out on both sides. Erickson dropping back to pass on 3rd and 10. Runs up the middle, fires this one far side, incomplete. But 2 flags are thrown towards the end of the play. This one's interesting.
Yeah, the battle of linebacker blitzes right now that Rockhurst is putting on this offensive line. Blue Springs has not been able to pick these up. That time, Coppinger got in and put pressure, forcing Erickson to step up in the pocket and deliver what was close. I believe it was a catch, but like you said, flag down.
Yeah, all 3 officials are talking with each other real quick. Looks like it's going to be a holding call on Rockhurst. So this one will help Blue Springs tremendously here on their 3rd drive of the game. And it'll put them a little bit further to that first down marker. The official's now moving the ball back. And I think he was just going back to the original point of where the ball was, and now he's moving it up all the way to the 42-yard line on the right hash.
Yeah, and I mean, a drive saver. That's 4th down. You're punting the ball back to Rockhurst for a chance to go get this lead. Said it's 1st down for the Wildcats. I mean, that is a drive saver for this Wildcats offense. And on the flip side for Rockhurst, a massive mental mistake that's going to keep this Blue Springs offense out here trying to find points.
So after the penalty, it'll bring up 1st and 10. For the Wildcats at their own 42, a handoff play to Mayfield as he gets all the way up towards midfield. And he's going to be close to that 1st down marker, but it'll be a gain of 8 for Corey Mayfield.
Yeah, Rockhurst was trying to drop their defensive tackle back into coverage, and luckily for Blue Springs, that's exactly where they were running the ball. So it just kind of created the own hole for Olberg to hit hard and pick up a lot of yards. They're making this 2nd and short now. As the momentum after that penalty, a good run here, you can kind of see momentum building now for Blue Springs.
2nd and 2 at midfield. Another handoff play to Mayfield as he'll get close to the 1st down marker, but it's going to be just short as he'll get a gain of 1, and that'll bring up 3rd and 1 at the Rockhurst 49.
Yeah, good job there by the Rockers, linebackers and D-line flowing to the far side of the field, able to keep Mayfield from finding any lane as he was stifled at the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd and short here for Blue Springs. This one's a big 3rd down here in the first half. And if Rockhurst can find a way to get a stop here, this would do wonders for them. Mayfield's going to line up to Erickson's left here on 3rd and short. Erickson dropping back to pass. Quick pass play out to the near side to Zay Height. And he's going to be just short of the 1st down marker. So now 4th down coming up for Blue Springs.
Yeah, I get the play call. You're trying to get Height out there on the far sideline to work, but I mean, nowhere to go off that screenplay. Rockers was all over it, and like you said, this is not going to be a 1st down. This is going to be 4th, and they might have even lost a little bit.
I mean, it looked like Height got a yard or 2, but again, I think he was just about 3 or 4 yards away from the line of scrimmage, or rather behind the line of scrimmage. So, it makes the play look like it resulted in more than just a yard or maybe nothing. But now 4th and short. It'll be interesting to see what Blue Springs does here with a tie ball game with under 6 minutes to go in the first half.
You just had 2 attempts at this. I mean, they had a 2nd and 2 and then a 3rd and 2, and they weren't able to get it either time. So a big 4th down here, and I think the right call, you're at midfield, you got to keep the offense out here. Like we said, this is the number 5 team in the Metro. Rockers is no joke. You've got to get points when you can. So you got to kind of run the gamble here to try to get the offense on the field and find some offensive points. Keep your lead you had earlier. Get it back. Only 5 or just under 6 minutes, more or less, to go.
We actually had a penalty after the play, so I
never even saw a flag.
I didn't see a flag either. So there must have been a flag thrown like at the very, 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 very end of the play, and looks like it's going to be a personal foul penalty on Blue Springs.
So that could have been after the play even. So
probably
a very unfortunate break for Blue Springs. What would have been a 4th and short, possibly going for it. I mean, you're definitely punting the ball now. It's going to be 4th and a mile.
So we'll see what Blue Springs decides to do here. Likely they'll just punt the ball away back to Rockhurst here with 5:51 to go. 4th and 16 after the personal foul penalty. And again, we didn't see a flag thrown at the end of the play, but it might have been something that happened at the end of the play.
Yeah, the officials were gathered, and they kind of were talking about something, but I didn't know if they were just kind of waiting to see if they were going for it on 4th or possibly checking, like you said, maybe the marker of where they spotted the ball.
Right.
But a personal foul penalty there, I mean, that is brutal. But, you go back at just the last series before that, Blue Springs kind of got bailed out with that holding call, able to get them the automatic first down. And now the flip side of that, now it's a 4th short, could have possibly get the first down, cross midfield.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 16, so it won't be 4th and long. So Blue Springs, they have one more chance to try and get the first down here. I like how we both said that together at the same time.
Yes.
Trips out to the near side, one out to the far side here on 3rd and 16. Erickson dropping back to pass, looking downfield, fires over the middle, and incomplete, almost intercepted, but the ball touched the ground before he could come up with the catch there. Not sure who was on the end of that potential interception for Rockhurst, but nevertheless, it's going to bring up 4th down, and the Wildcats are going to punt it away.
Yeah, definitely just skipped in there. I mean, Erickson just trying to find anybody downfield, a tall order to get a 3rd and 16. But now they're going to be forced to punt it back to Rockers. And for Rockers, you got all the time in the world here. You got your timeouts. I mean, you can do whatever you want on this drive. But for the Hawklets, you just kind of want to hope it ends in a touchdown. Take this lead into halftime, too.
Romero standing back at his own 21, getting ready to punt it away. Blake Thomas back deep to receive as he fair catches this one at the 32. So Rockhurst will have to drive down the field 68 yards as they try to take the lead here before the end of the first half.
Yeah, it's something to keep your eye on. I mean, that's twice that the Wildcats have punted. And Rockers, I don't know if you saw it there, they were that close to blocking it. I mean, a little bit slow on the handling from the punter there. A blocked punt in a game this close can be detrimental.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, when you have plays like that, special teams miscues, you may think you got away with it, because the team that you're playing against, didn't get a first down. They had to punt the ball away. But, I mean, situations like that can really hurt you at the very end. And yeah, it would have been a unmitigated disaster for Blue Springs if that punt had gotten blocked. I mean, with Rockhurst, once you give them a big play, I mean, they take the momentum and they run away with it. But we did see Lee Summit West, though, on the other hand, a few weeks ago, go toe-to-toe with this team, even though there were, plays where Lee Summit West just, gave the ball away and had those mental mistakes. As Miller tries to get this one off quick, and this one's going to be caught right at the line of scrimmage as he'll get a pickup of maybe 7 or 6 yards. As Miller, it could have been a loss of 20 had he not gotten the throw off.
Yeah, it's going to be Warren Robinson, the wide receiver, number 9, the junior. And I'm not sure there if Miller was just trying to throw it away. I would like to think he was throwing that to Robertson, who obviously a massive pickup there. What he said, he's under duress in the snap. I mean, he had nowhere to go. And picking up that many yards on a play like that, even picking up a first down possibly, that's big time.
And it's going to give him enough for the first down as they'll give him 10 yards on that catch. So now 1st and 10 at the Rockhurst 42. Trips bunched out to the near side. Quick screen play over to Tristan Johnson as he crosses midfield. Down the 40, down the near sideline. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Rockhurst. Tristan Johnson gives the Hawklets the lead here with 4:28 to go in the first half.
Tristan Johnson, easily the play of the game so far in this one as we're close to halftime. I mean, just a little bubble screen there, but if you saw, the receiver gets the block, and, he looks forward, and he's going to run into his own receiver, puts his foot into the ground, and hits the spin move of the season to get to the edge, and then he's off to the races. And then, obviously, Johnson flashes all the speed he has to burn the entire Wildcats defense down the sideline, getting Rockers a huge touchdown to take the lead.
Exactly the play that Rockhurst needed as they take the lead here with 4:28. The extra point from Devrex is up and good. 14-7, the Hawklets lead it here with 4:28 to go in the second quarter. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. You are watching Missouri High School football right here on 810varsity.com. We'll be right back.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football on 810varsity.com. Austin Eckert here for you. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts as Tristan Johnson streaks down the far near sideline and gives the Hawklets the lead here with 4:28 to go in the second quarter. 14-7, the Hawklets now lead it here over the Wildcats. You think Rockhurst scored too fast, Cade?
I think the quick answer to that is yes. I mean, obviously you just gave Blue Springs 4.5 minutes to go find a touchdown, and they still have their timeouts. But, you know, you got to take your points when they're there. And obviously for Rockhurst, the play developed very well on the receiving touchdown there for Johnson on the bubble screen, able to hit the edge off to the races. Touchdown, you got to take your points. So just kind of the double-edged sword there for Rockhurst. But this defense has been playing great all night.
And Height's going to field this one inside the 5-yard line. He'll bring it out past the 20, looking for an opening, and he'll go down at the 26. Looks like the ball came out, but he was down before that occurred. So Blue Springs will take over for their fourth drive of the game. And, you know, you go back to that previous drive. I mean, they were driving the ball down the field pretty well, and then there was that personal foul penalty.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about it a drive before where Rockhurst scored. They had a couple encroachment penalties. So we said it. You cannot come on the road to Rockhurst and have penalties and expect to win the game. You've got to clean up these mental mistakes and if they want to stay in this game. So a couple encroachments, like you said, the personal foul, that took away what would have been a 4th and 1, a very manageable 4th and 1 for Blue Springs. So they're going to have to get it going now.
So we'll see what Wyatt Erickson and this Wildcat offense can do here, down by a touchdown with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. Still some time left on the clock for the Wildcats to try and tie it up, as Erickson will send a receiver in motion here on 1st and 10. And incomplete as he tried to connect with Olberg on the screen play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the looping linebacker off the edge there for Rockhurst. I think just kind of threw the timing off on that. Just nowhere, no time. Try to throw it over the defender. Kind of puts you at a weird arm angle, and then it's going to skip in there and roll out of bounds. 2nd and 10 now for the Wildcats.
It's just been plays like that have really stalled this offense. I mean, once you really, get the, once you have a couple of runs and get some quick passes, you're really in a groove. But it hasn't been the case here in the second quarter here, at least for Blue Springs. As we'll have a handoff play to Olberg. It'll be a flag thrown right before the snap. It'll be a false start penalty once again on the Wildcats. This is their 3rd false start penalty of the evening.
Yeah, it's just been these linebackers for Rockhurst have been the biggest difference for me on their blitzes and their coverage. They've been so disciplined. I mean, we're talking about Henry Coppinger. Cash Lewandowski's a linebacker. Another guy we've seen on the field a few times is the freshman Cruz Lewandowski, which I would have to imagine is the brother of Cash, making some impressive plays too. So these linebackers able to step up big time for Rockhurst through the under coverage and in those blitzes. I mean, they are getting home a lot. And that pressure for Erickson is a lot to ask for him to find these open targets when he's got no time to get the ball out.
2nd and 15 at their own 22. Trips out to the near side, one out to the far side. Erickson looking downfield, fires. This one's going to be caught at the 35, almost intercepted as he gets all the way up to the 40, down at the 42. And Devin Staley comes up with the big catch.
We had just talked about how they keep sending this pressure. That time Rockhurst only sends 3. They back off. And if you're going to give Erickson time in the pocket, he's going to find the open mound. Now, granted, like you said, that was very close to being intercepted as it was Coppinger was so surprised he missed that one. But a huge reception there for Staley.
And the Wildcats are going to go quick as Erickson looks downfield, fires one over the middle, incomplete. Too much height on that pass as Erickson tried to connect with Lincoln Herring over the middle to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and Herring was there. He was definitely there. He kind of found the soft spot in the middle of the field. But like you said, just a little bit too high on that, and it was the left end for Rockhurst was able to get a ton of pressure there. Murphy, the senior, kind of once again forced a quick pass there for Erickson, kind of threw off the timing on that one, and an incomplete pass is what pursued.
And Erickson's got to be real careful with these passes. I mean, not only are you putting too much height on it, but you're opening up the door possibly for an interception. I mean, these defenders for Rockhurst, they can go get after the ball quick. And there's another throw over the head of his intended receiver. This time, Brock Banker on the intended end of that throw from Erickson. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. But 2 throws from Erickson that have sailed over the receiver's head.
Yeah, and I think what's unfortunate for Blue Springs is you kind of got to resettle in Erickson. I think he's been hit a few times this game. I think he knows these blitzes are coming, and he's getting the ball just a little bit too soon. I think Erickson's you just got to stay in the pocket, step into it. I know it's going to hurt, but you got to deliver those throws, and it's a lot of coverage. I mean, the fact that Rockhurst can send 4 and get this much pressure is a big issue.
2 receivers out on both sides. Oldberg will motion. Empty backfield for Erickson. 3rd and 10. Another throw over the middle, caught by Zay Height. It's enough for a Wildcat first down as the officials will mark him down at the Rockhurst 45.
3rd and 10, and who else do you call on than Zay Height? He already had a touchdown on their second drive of the game, and this time a big 3rd down pickup for Zay Height, coming up huge, keeping this drive alive for the Wildcats, which looked like it was dead in the water.
And that's the play that Blue Springs desperately needed after, just 2 really bad throws from Erickson. But he redeems himself with a completion on 3rd and 10 to Zay Height as the Wildcats move the ball up the field after 2 unlucky throws from Erickson. 2 receivers out to the near side. As Oldberg gets the call up the middle, past the 35, and bulldozes his way up to the 31-yard line.
I mean, Oldberg just running over the safety, trying to put his foot in the ground and fall forward for extra yards. I like the play call there. Still 3 minutes to go. I think Rockhurst is sitting there thinking they passed it. They're just going to keep passing the ball. You catch them off guard with the run play. You pick up a big first down, and keeping this drive alive with plenty of time still. 2:40 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I asked you before Rockhurst kicked it away to Blue Springs, did Rockhurst give Blue Springs too much time? I mean, it's looking like the case so far. Trips out to the far side this time, one out to the near side, quick pass play out to the left side. It's caught. He'll go down at the 22, and Brock Banker this time on the end of that reception. He's going to get close to that first down marker, but just a couple of yards shy.
Yeah, and I mean, Rockhurst is just staying in this zone coverage, and the props goes to the Wildcats receivers. I mean, you got Height, Banker, and Staley all kind of just finding these openings, stopping, turning around, and just waiting for the ball to get put right on the money. And Erickson, when they find those open spots, he's been able to put it right on their chest.
So 2nd and 1. Under 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 2 receivers out to the near side, 1 out to the far side. As Staley lines up at quarterback, he's going to line up in the Wildcat as he'll keep it himself to the left side, and he'll get all the way up to the 16 for the first down.
Yeah, and that's a play we saw them go to on their scoring drive a few possessions ago, and he broke it for about 16, 17 yards. So Staley out of that Wildcat is dangerous. That's something you got to kind of store in your back pocket for the second half because that play is working really well for this Wildcat offense.
That's the 3rd time that we've seen Staley line up at Wildcat so far in this game. So maybe expect to see more of that as this game goes on. But Devin Staley picks up the first down, and now the Wildcats have the ball at the Rockhurst 17. 1st and 10. With under a minute and a half to go, Oldberg gets the call, and he'll only get maybe a couple of yards as he gets all the way up to the 15.
Yeah, and we're just around that minute mark now. You got to think Wildcats either need to burn a timeout or start speeding this up a little bit.
And you think that Blue Springs would maybe chew up the rest of this clock going into the half with the intention of trying to tie it up at 14 apiece because, mind you, that Rockhurst is going to get the ball to start the second half. So Blue Springs, on the other hand, they don't want to give Rockhurst another opportunity before the end of the first half. 2 receivers out on both sides. Erickson fires over the middle, and this one's batted down, incomplete, almost intercepted once again. And it looked like
that's going to be Cruz Lewandowski.
Cruz Lewandowski, and I also saw Henry Coppinger there too, batting the ball down, and now it'll bring up 3rd and 8 as the incomplete pass stops the clock here with 41 seconds.
Yeah, and I think for Blue Springs, 3rd and, like you said, about 7 to go here, any points is good points. If you can even get a field goal here and then try to get the stop out of the half, obviously the touchdown's what you want, but let's make sure you don't turn the ball over.
Oldberg will motion, empty backfield for Erickson on 3rd and 8. And this one's batted down, incomplete. The 3rd time tonight that this Rockhurst defense have batted down one of Wyatt Erickson's passes right at the line of scrimmage. And now the field goal unit's going to come out and attempt this field goal. So
it was the screenplay. The Wildcats, they try to develop the screen there, but that defensive line for Rockhurst, they're just so big, they're so tall, they're so fast, they're able to get there before, honestly, Erickson had any chance to even deliver. I mean, the screen was definitely open, but no time to get the ball out, knocked down, and a huge stop for Rockhurst defense.
Cesar Romero on to attempt the field goal. Snap down, kick is up, and it is good. So Blue Springs with 34 seconds to go. They make this a 4-point game. Thanks to Cesar Romero, it's now 14-10. Rockhurst still leads it here with just over 30 seconds to go. I'm not sure we'll see much before the end of the first half, rather than maybe just a kickoff and maybe a couple of knees going into the half.
Yeah, and this is a close game. I think something to note there, that was a great kick by Romero on that field goal attempt. I mean, that's good from 40. I mean, so something for Blue Springs. They obviously have a great kicker. That's something to store in your back pocket. This is a close game, so remember that. They can kick a field goal.
Well, not only that, Romero's had a good outing so far tonight in the punting game. He's had a couple of really good punts here for Blue Springs. So it's now 14-10 here in the second quarter. We're approaching the final seconds of this first half. It's been an exciting first half between these two teams as Blue Springs scored on their second drive of the game, and then Rockhurst tied it up, and then Blue Springs had a personal foul penalty on offense that stalled their drive, their fourth drive of the game, rather. They had to punt the ball away, and then there was that long pass play from Garrett Miller to Tristan Johnson for the 14-7 lead for the Hawklets. And now Cesar Romero here with 34 seconds to go makes it 14-10. And so now Romero will get ready to kick it back to the Hawklets. High booming kick from Romero, end over end kick, and this one's going to be ruled a touchback.
A little chippy there after the play on the kickoff. Two guys getting at it. No flags, though. That could have got ugly. I heard you say a knee. I don't think so. I think if you're Rockers here, I'm not content with just the 4-point lead in the halftime. I want more. I think you got weapons like Lewandowski, like Blake Thomas. These guys could score in one play. So you might as well take some shots downfield, especially – I think it'd be crazy to do it, but Blue Springs has been running a lot of press man coverage, those one-on-ones. Just take a shot downfield. You might as well. It doesn't cost nothing,
That's true. I mean, Rockhurst, they have one timeout left. So, I mean, if their objective here is to try and get some points before the end of the half, which would help them out a lot more, obviously, but they do hold the lead. But they do get the ball to start the second half.
That was a lot of time talking to coaches in the huddle before they walked out here to go take a knee. So I would expect some kind of offense.
Well, I'll take your word for it. It looks like they are going to try and get a couple of plays off before the end of the first half as Lewandowski gets this one on the screen play and goes out of bounds right at the 24. So that stops the clock with 28 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, that's about the fourth or fifth time we've seen them run that play to Lewandowski, and Blue Springs has been on it a lot, and I think they pick up the most yards they've picked up on that play all night long, but I think if you're the Wildcats, you're not trying to give up anything deep. You can have 4 or 5 yards underneath when you only have 28 seconds till halftime.
So now 2nd and 6 at the 24 for the Hawklets. They're going to have to drive down the field 76 yards here in 28 seconds if they want to get a touchdown, but they're going to have to do it quick. And like Kate alluded to, this Rockhurst offense, they can put up a big play in no time if they have to. As Miller lines up under center, as he'll give the call up the middle, all the way up to the 31-yard line. As Henry Coppinger this time gets the rock. It'll give him a gain of 7. So we have 8 seconds left, and that might be the final play.
Yeah, I just watched the coach for Rockers take his headset off. They're content with that, take it into halftime. So exciting first half here, Austin.
Yeah, exciting first half indeed, as both teams will go into the locker room. Rockhurst holds a 14-10 lead here in the first weekend of October. A beautiful night here in Kansas City at Severino Field on the campus of Rockhurst High School, again located on the east side of State Line Road. Austin Eckert here for you. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts here in the broadcast booth. Just want to say real quick, thank you all for tuning in right here on a10varsity.com, and thanks for choosing to spend your Friday evening with us. And it's been a pretty good ball game here between the Wildcats and the Hawklets. Obviously, before we go into the break, I got to say it, okay? I mean, it's going to come out at some point. We'll address it now. Today's my birthday. I turned 24 years old. And precisely at 7:30 was when I officially turned 24, because according to my mom this morning, she said I was brought into the world at 7:30 p.m. precisely.
Yeah, I think I was an AM baby, but don't quote me on that. But 7:30 p.m. is your birthday, so yeah, we're just past that. We would have hit your birthday as we were commentating, so
that's right.
Is there a better way to spend your birthday than Friday night lights, calling a game, and let alone a close game like this?
Yeah, no, I there's nothing else I would rather do than be in the broadcast booth doing what I love, and we've got a good game on hand as well. So it's been a pretty good birthday, and I'm very thankful for all the birthday wishes and for all my family watching. I appreciate you guys, and thank you to you guys for all the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it, and I love you guys. So, Kate, anything else before we go into halftime?
Yeah, I mean, I think just going over this game really quick from both teams for Blue Springs, I think we talked about a lot of those mistakes, a lot of those penalties, only being down 4 at half. You got to find that as a positive. There was opportunities for Rockhurst to score a few more points. And then on the side note, Lewandowski, I mean, how important is it for Rockhurst? We watched him go down in their opening drive. The fact that he was able to battle through whatever happened to him and get back into this game for Rockhurst has been massive. He's been effective in this game. But we talked about the play of the game so far is Tristan Johnson on that bubble screen. I mean, able to catch that. I mean, 70 yards down the sideline, burners, jets, off the spin move, all the way to the house. And that's really been the difference in this one.
No doubt about that. We'll go ahead and step aside for now. We have about 18 and a half minutes before we get back underway here at Severino Field as Rockhurst holds a 4-point lead, up 14-10 over the Blue Springs Wildcats. And so feel free to go ahead and step aside, do what you need to do, and we'll be back on the air here in about 18 minutes or so. You are watching Missouri High School football right here on a10varsity.com. We'll be back soon.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
Welcome to Baker University, nestled in the heart of small-town Baldwin City. Our small class sizes means that you'll never get lost in the crowd, and your professors are always within reach. Baker University is more than just a place to earn your degree. We are a community of learners, performers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and competitors from around the world. Baker University empowers students to achieve their full potential in a diverse and ever-changing world. Visit bakeru.edu to get started.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri high school football on 810varsity.com. Austin Eckert here for you. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts as we get ready for the second half. Rockhurst will receive to start the second half, and Blue Springs will kick it away since they received first. But Cade, talk to me real quick about the first half, and what do both teams need to be? What do both teams need to do in order to be successful here in the second half? Tight ball game.
Yeah, I think for Rockhurst, it's just kind of stick with what's working. I mean, just take what they give you, move the ball down the field kind of methodically, and the defense has been playing good enough to keep you in front in this game. I mean, we saw them kind of stall out on their opening drive, but since then this Rockhurst offense has been explosive. They hit a lot of big-time plays. And I think for Blue Springs, their key to success in this one is you got to clean up these penalties. They've had a lot of drives stalled out due to penalties. And let's not turn the ball over. We talked about it, too, at halftime. Erickson had a few ones that were very close to being intercepted. And in a game this close, you cannot turn the ball over. And the defense, too, for Blue Springs, they've got to get a stop here. This is a huge opportunity for them to get back in front, try to take that 17-14 lead. But if Rockhurst marches right down and goes up 21-10, this is going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Should be an interesting second half here at Severino Field on the campus of Rockhurst High School here in Kansas City, Missouri. Again, we're on the east side of State Line Road, as we're not too far away from that. But it's cool though that this campus is literally right on State Line Road, and you can walk from Missouri all the way to Kansas in just about a second. As Romero boots this one away, and we're underway here for the second half, as this one will be fielded inside the 10. Brought out to the near side to the 20, down at the 22. So now Rockhurst, for their first drive of the second half, they'll have to drive down the field 78 yards for 6.
Yeah, I want to see if Rockhurst, too, you have a 4-point lead now. The time getting rid of it is going to be what you want to do. And I think they really never established the run that much in the first half. I want to see if they can go to Cash, get him going. I mean, we talked about it. Coppinger, the fullback, we saw right before half his first carry, picked off 8 yards right there. Now, granted, they probably were playing for the pass, but I would like to see them try to get the run game going so you can kind of take the clock down, not give Blue Springs a lot of time, especially if you can score a touchdown, maybe take off half the third quarter. You'll be sitting pretty.
1st and 10 at the 22. Miller dropping back to pass, screen play out to Coppinger. as he'll juke around a defender, get all the way up to the 26 for a gain of 4. So now 2nd and 6 for the Hawklets.
Yeah, that's a play I got to imagine Rockhurst has been setting up all night. If you watched right there, Miller pump faked the screen to Lewandowski. They've gone that way 3 or 4 times this game, but then he fakes it, looks back to the fullback, Coppinger. So a play you've been setting up a lot, and you only get 5 yards out of it. I got to say, good job to Blue Springs not giving up a even bigger play there.
So they'll give Coppinger a gain of 5 on the screenplay. So now 2nd and 5 at the 27. Blake Thomas will motion, and he'll get it on the end around on the far side. Past the 25 all the way up to the 30. Going to be close to that first down marker, but he's going to be a couple of yards short. It'll bring up 3rd and maybe 2 or 3.
Wildcats defense doing just enough there to force the 3rd down. I mean, I think Thomas was just trying to get the edge, but never really opened up, only able to pick up maybe 1 or 2 yards there. So a big 3rd down here early in the 3rd quarter.
A big 3rd down indeed. 3rd and 3 for the Hawklets here on their first drive of the second half. Up by 4 points, a 1-possession game. Cesar Romero knocked in a field goal just before the end of the first half to make it 14-10. Trips out to the near side. Quick screenplay out to Lewandowski to the far side. Incomplete as Lewandowski looked to catch that ball, but it was just wide to his right. And now Rockhurst is going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, I think Miller was trying to throw that around the DN.
Yeah.
We've seen that a couple of times from, honestly, it's usually Rockers doing that with Erickson trying to swing it out to his right and left, but that time the Wildcats able to force an error to pass there from Miller, and a great stop for Blue Springs, forcing the 3 and out, getting the ball back to this offense in a 1-score game. And a good punt return here. They could have great starting field position too.
Robbie Tesdale back to punt for Rockhurst as he boots this one away. It's a side-winding punt fielded back at the 38. It'll be called for a fair catch by Brock Banker. So the Wildcats will take over at their own the 39-yard line is what it looks like here is where they're going to spot the ball. So 39-yard line here for the Blue Springs Wildcats, and they're going to have to drive down the field 61 yards to try and retake the lead. They had the lead early with a 7-0 lead before Rockhurst tied it up with that QB sneak from Garrett Miller. And Blue Springs, they've had some drives where they've where they were able to move the ball down the field. It's just the penalties have been really holding them back.
I think something to note, too, we watched the kicker for Blue Springs knock in a 55-yard field goal during warm-ups. I mean, you're starting on almost a 40-yard line. 20, 30 yards, you could be getting an easy 3 points, making this a 1-point game.
Absolutely, and we'll, of course, touch up on that as this game goes on. As Erickson hands it off to Olberg up the middle as he weaves his way to the 45. So a gain of maybe 6 for Dante Olberg.
Yeah, Olberg, just an inside zone there, able to hit the hole hard and find some extra space. But that popular linebacker, Coppinger, for Rockers, their leading tackler tonight, able to wrap him up and bring him down after the gain of 6.
2nd and 4 at the Blue Springs 45.
I could see possibly a blitz here. The linebackers have been going a lot for Rockers, and that's been working out well for them.
A lot of movement up front for Rockhurst defensively as Olberg gets the call again. This time gets all the way up to the 48 for only a gain of 3. So he's just short of that first down marker. So it'll bring up 3rd and 1. And we've seen this situation already here for the Wildcats, haven't we? It was a 3rd and 1. They didn't get it. Not only that, it was a pass play that went out wide to Zay Heights, but he got tackled right at the line of scrimmage. And then after the play, there was that personal foul penalty that made it 3rd and long. And it was really a drive where Blue Springs could have easily gone down the field and scored a touchdown. 2 receivers out to the near side, 1 out to the far side as Olberg gets the call. Fighting his way to the first down marker. He's going to be close as he fought through a couple defenders right at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be enough for a Wildcat first down.
Yeah, Murphy, the defensive end there for Rockers. It looked like he had him in the backfield, but Olberg able to fight through the defensive end and get a massive first down.
A massive first down indeed for Dante Olberg, as it could have been a loss of maybe 3 or 4 yards, it looked like initially, but he was able to get all the way up to the 50-yard line for the first. So 1st and 10 at midfield for the Wildcats. Trips out to the far side as Erickson sends his tight end in motion, as he'll give it off to Olberg again. Past the 45 all the way up to the 43 for a gain of 7. And another good pickup for Dante Olberg.
Yeah, I think Blue Springs was listening to what I said I wanted Rockhurst to do, because Blue Springs is definitely establishing the run here in the second half.
Yeah.
Olberg is inserting his dominance right now in this game, fighting for yards, running really hard, and every time he gets the ball, he's picking up 4 or 5 yards.
And the ground game's been working so far on this drive for the Blue Springs offense. And giving the rock to Dante Olberg. He's been moving the ball efficiently so far for the Wildcats. Trips out to the far side again. One out to the near side. Quick pass play over the middle. Caught at the 35. It'll be enough for a Wildcat first down. As Erickson, this time he looked like he connected with Zay Hyde on the reception.
I believe that was Banker, actually, but Banker with a great grab there as he took a big pop, too, able to hold on to that one through a massive hit.
And another first down picked up here for this Wildcat offense. They now have the ball at the Rockhurst 34 with just over 8 minutes to go. 2 receivers out on both sides. Olberg lines up to Erickson's left. As Erickson drops back to pass, another screen play out to the far side. At the 30, at the 25, down the field, at the 10, 5, touchdown, Blue Springs. And this time, Wyatt Erickson connects with Devin Staley, and the Wildcats retake the lead.
You know, Devin Staley, I mean, talk about speed off that. I mean, we talked about earlier in the game, it was a touchdown for Rockhurst to Tristan Johnson on a bubble screen. This time, the Wildcats do it themselves on a screen to the right side. We'd seen in the first half that Blue Springs try to go to that play, and Rockhurst defensive line able to knock it down twice. This time, unable to knock it down. A great pass there by Erickson, finding his Staley wide open, and then speed did the rest.
Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. And it's now a 3-point game as Blue Springs retakes the lead here in the opening moments of the third quarter with just under 8 minutes to go. 7:57 exactly to go in the third quarter, 17-14. Blue Springs leads it here over Rockhurst. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. When we come back, Rockhurst will have the ball for the second time here in the second half.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident, and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
We welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football on a10varsity.com. 17-14, Blue Springs leads it on the road against the undefeated 5-0 Rockhurst Hawklets as Wyatt Erickson connected with Devin Staley to give the Wildcats the lead back with 7:57 to go in the third quarter as Romero boots this one away. End over end kick. It will be fielded inside the 5 at the 2. Right out to the 20, out to the 30, still on his feet, down the near sideline at the 40, at the 45, and he'll get pushed out of bounds near midfield. And a good return for Rockhurst, exactly what they needed after giving up that touchdown. Rockhurst has excellent field position here for their second drive of the second half as they look to retake the lead.
And who else, Austin? You need a big answer. You need to get a momentum swing. You need something to go your way so far in this second half. And who do you call on to do it? Cash Lewandowski, Mr. Momentum. Big-time play.
Mr. O-Reliable, Mr. Momentum, you can call him whatever. He's really the driving force for this Rockhurst team. I mean, when he has a big play, the whole team pretty much feeds off the energy from it. And a big return there for straight Cash Lewandowski. Easy money.
I see what you did there. Straight cash. Took me a second.
There you go.
I was a little slow to it, but I see what you did.
First and 10 here for Rockhurst at their own 49. Pitch play to Cash as he fakes the end around to Blake Thomas as he gets all the way up to the line of scrimmage. Nothing going there.
Yeah, it's been a tough pitch for him, running it hard to his right to pitch it back to his left. Just the science behind getting that pitch to be caught. But I'm not going to lie, if he was able to pull that off, I think Thomas might have had the edge going back the other way. That's something they might have to reevaluate and try.
Definitely something that Rockhurst will look back on maybe here in a couple of days when they watch the film and go, man, that would have been a touchdown right there if Cash had pitched it back to Thomas there, but you never know. So now 2nd and 11. They're actually going to give Lewandowski a loss of 1. Miller finding Lewandowski again as he slips up at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he got a yard or two, but they'll rule him down at the 49, back to the original spot of the line of scrimmage. So now 3rd and 10 after the
it looked
gain
like
of 1.
the turf monster got Lewandowski on that slip screen, but I think on the other side of that, I don't think he would have got very many more yards even if he didn't slip up there, as the Wildcats were pursuing pretty well. But for Rockhurst, it's been very interesting. I mean, they are just – I mean, I get the pass rush for Blue Springs has been dominant. They are getting home a lot, but you're kind of playing into that, trying to let them rush downfield and then sneak something behind them. But Rockhurst is not taking any shots downfield.
We'll see if they do it here. 3rd and 10. Miller looking downfield, rolls out to the near side, and gets it off barely, and it's incomplete as he tried to throw it into the direction of Blake Thomas in double coverage, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Thomas a little slow to get up there. I mean, that tough call for him. Obviously double covered there, nowhere to go. Miller just trying to buy time, rolling out to his right, trying to find anything downfield, and then a smart pass there. Anything too close, you don't want to get intercepted. One of those balls that maybe only your receiver could try to get his hands on, just skipped in a little bit behind him. And that's going to force Rockhurst to punt. I mean, how about this start to the second half for Blue Springs? I mean, they have came in here and just gut-punched Rockhurst, and this defense for the Hawklets is going to have to get a stop now.
No doubt about that, and we talked about it in the opening. Blue Springs looking to snap their back-to-back losing streak. They had tough outings against Staley and Lee Summit North the past couple of weeks. This one's going to be fielded back at the 10-yard line. This one's going to be brought out to the 13. That's where he'll go out of bounds on the near side as Brock Baker tried to let that ball bounce in front of him maybe a couple of times, but then saw where the ball was going, and it was going way too far back, and it took a couple of Rockhurst bounces before Baker was able to pick that ball up and take it and run with it. But he ran backwards about 10 yards before getting pushed out of bounds at the 13, so not the best of returns for Brock Baker, but
yeah, I think Baker was trying to play that off the first bounce, and it bounced right over his head. So he turned around and he chasing the ball back. I might have just let that one roll into the end zone and took it at the 20. But nonetheless, they'll start out, like you said, on their 13-yard line. And for the Wildcats, a big opportunity here. But for Rockhurst, if they get a quick 3-and-out, this could give them the ball back in good field position.
Well, the Rockhurst defense absolutely needs to get a stop here if they want to try and stay in this game. With the way the offense is looking so far for Blue Springs, they're currently on a roll as Erickson will send his receiver out to the far side in motion as Olberg gets the call as he's going to be swarmed in the backfield for a loss of 2.
Yeah, Olberg comes down a little bit awkwardly there in the backfield, but a one that we've not seen in this entire second half, tackled in the backfield, Olberg. I mean, he was going forward for 4 or 5 yards on that opening drive for Blue Springs. This time, nowhere to go.
They'll give Olberg a loss of 1, so now 2nd and 11 back at the 12-yard line here for Blue Springs. Up by a field goal here with just over 5.5 minutes to go in the third. Trips out far side, one out near side. Erickson in shotgun takes the snap. Heaves one over the middle of the field, and this one's incomplete as Devin Staley almost came down with the catch, but it was tipped right before it reached the arms of Devin Staley, but the incomplete pass now brings up 3rd and 11.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Devin Staley. He's the star receiver for this Wildcat. You put him at corner, he turned into the receiver there trying to make a play on the ball. Blake Thomas, the intended receiver downfield. I like that, though, those one-on-ones, you know, playing the receiver. You got Blake Thomas, the other receiver, so a great matchup. Incomplete pass, though, setting up now a massive 3rd and long.
Definitely can't undersell how big of a 3rd down this is here for Blue Springs, even though still a lot of time left in this game. Empty backfield for Erickson. Fires over the middle, incomplete as he tried to connect with Brock Baker, and it's a quick 3-and-out for this Blue Springs offense, and the Rockhurst defense holds their own, and they're going to get the ball back.
Yeah, I think Baker was open there. Erickson a little bit behind him, though. As you see, Baker was kind of just breaking down, and just the timing was a little off. So a nice stop there for Rockers, opening up the door for their offense to try to get something going now in the second half and answer back to that lead they lost just a few drives ago.
So the 4th punt of the evening here for Cesar Romero. We saw him kick a couple of long field goals here during halftime and got a lot of kicks up as he boots this one away. It's a high side winding punt, and it will bounce out of bounds right around the 40-yard line of Blue Springs. Not the best of punts there from or not the best punt, rather, from Cesar Romero, as Rockhurst will get excellent field position here for their third drive of the second half.
Yeah, a little surprised there. We talked about it. Rockhurst almost got home on a few of those punts. That time they really didn't send much pressure, but still, yeah, like you said, not a great punt, giving Rockhurst amazing starting field position here. And you got to think this is the drive where they need to go punch it in for a touchdown, get that lead back.
Absolutely. So Rockhurst taking their time, getting the offense back out on the field. Blue Springs wasting no time lining up their defense. And they know this is a situation where Rockhurst, they're slowly starting to get some momentum back on their side after the start that Blue Springs has had here in this second half so far, as Lewandowski gets the call again as he bulldozes his way all the way up to the 32 for a gain of 6.
Yeah, I like that. We've not seen very many runs just up the middle out of Cash. I know they tried it a little early on and weren't able to pick up very many yards. I like them getting back to that here in the second half. That defense is going to be a little bit more worn out, a little bit more tired, possibly letting Cash take advantage of that and find some extra yards. So a 6-yard carry there for Cash Lewandowski sets up second and manageable.
Second and manageable indeed, as Miller this time lines up under center. 2 receivers out to the far side. One will go in motion as Lewandowski again gets the call. And he'll fight his way up to the 30-yard line for only a gain of 2. So now 3rd and 4. Possible play-action play coming up here, I would think, Cade.
Yeah, Johnson, the defensive tackle there, with a great play, shedding down the line, able to wrap up Lewandowski and slam him down for a short gain. You know, I think this is where Rockhurst gets into that kind of their screen plays. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pass behind the line of scrimmage to one of their playmakers, even Lewandowski or Thomas, and see what they can make happen.
We haven't heard much of Tristan Johnson since he had that long touchdown pass or that long touchdown reception. It ended up being in one of those screen plays as Miller pitches this one out to Lewandowski as he hurdles his way all the way up to the 26, and it will be enough for a Hocklet first down, barring a possible penalty perhaps.
I don't know. This is going to be close. I'm not sure if he had the first down or not. I love a speed option. We haven't seen that all night long. Miller with the great read. Obviously, the DN right in his face gets it out and pitches it well, but they're obviously talking about this.
Yeah, it is going to be close. I thought maybe after the end of the play there was a late flag thrown.
We had this earlier where we didn't see a flag.
That's
and there
right.
was a flag on that unsportsmanlike conduct. This time I would imagine they're talking about the spot of the ball. It looked like the far side judge marked him short in the near. Looked like he was giving him the first. So we'll maybe possibly talk about what this is. And if it is fourth down, I think you go for it.
Absolutely.
How much do you trust your kicker? I mean, it'd be a long field goal. There was a flag.
Yeah, see, I knew there was something going on at the end of the play as you'd see both the far official and the head official kind of talk for a minute, and then all three of them congregated and talked about it. So, but it'll be enough for a Rockhurst first down.
Yeah, 5-yard penalty moves the chains. That's all you can ask for Rockhurst.
And that's
just drive alive.
And that's just another penalty we've seen from Blue Springs tonight that's really hurt them. Even though they're up by a field goal, there have been some penalties that could have easily been avoided. Now 1st and 10 after the penalty. 2 receivers out on both sides as Thomas will go in motion. He'll get it on the end around, out to the far side, to the 25, to the 20, and he'll go down at the 18 as he'll pick up 8 yards on the end around. And we talked about that a second ago, like, what do they need to do to, maybe get a first, try and pitch it back or whatever. But we do have an injury timeout on the field. Looks like we have an injured Hocklet player down, so we'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. 17-14. Blue Springs leads it here with 3:29 to go here in the third quarter.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Victory.
Thanks for joining us right here on A10varsity.com as we had an injury timeout. Reese Fisher was able to get up and walk off the field. That's obviously a very good sign. Hope that he's okay. And Kate, we were talking about it a little bit. He went down awkwardly in the middle of that play. I think he just got, tangled up there by a couple of other players, and it was just, unfortunate situation. But good to see him getting back up on his own feet and walking off the field.
Yeah, I mean, Fisher was doing everything he can there as an offensive lineman on that sweep. I mean, working upfield, staying with the play. I mean, we're talking about a lineman getting hurt 8 or 9 yards upfield, so he was trying to run up there and find an extra block. Kind of had someone looked like they possibly rolled up on him from behind. But like you said, great sign, able to walk off the field under his own. So sets up now a 2nd and short for the Hawklets.
Trips out to the near side this time. One out to the far side as Miller drops back to pass. Swings one out to the far side. Caught at the 11-yard line. And that's where they'll mark him down, as this time Miller connects with Tristan Johnson, the guy we were talking about a moment ago, having that long touchdown reception off the screenplay that we haven't heard much of his name since then, but this time he picks up an important first down as Rockhurst is looking to slowly try to ease their way back into this lead, down by a field goal.
Yeah, there Johnson obviously able to create a lot of separation on just a quick comeback, but I mean the pass was high from Miller, able to jump up and make what became, I thought was going to be an easy catch, a little bit more difficult, but Johnson's still able to come down with it. And yeah, like I was going to give you points there. You called it. We hadn't heard his name, and there it is. So a good call there by you, Austin.
So we do have a timeout on the field with 2 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the third quarter, as Rockhurst will use one of their first of 3 timeouts in the second half. We'll go ahead and step aside for another brief commercial break. We'll be back here in just a moment as Rockhurst will have the ball at the Blue Springs 11-yard line for a 1st and 10. 17-14, Blue Springs leads it. Hello, and thanks for joining us right here on A10varsity.com. We have some good news. Reese Fisher is back in the game for Rockhurst in the student section. Just right before Rockhurst took the field, they were chanting his name as Miller rolls out to the near side, looking downfield, pump fakes, fires this one. This one's caught by Thomas at the 9-yard line. He'll get pushed back behind the 10. And there's some extra pushing at the end of the play, but no foul play involved per the officials, so no late hit called at the end of that.
Quite a few extracurricular activities happening here after the play. I mean, some a little bit chippy. Obviously, there was the unsportsman earlier in this game.
Yeah.
So watch out for that. Penalties, these guys are getting after it. But, yeah, Reese Fisher checks back in, and then right there, I mean, what a pass by Miller, rolling out right. I thought he was just going to throw it away, looks all the way back across his body and finds Thomas open just to pick up some positive yards.
So 2nd and 8 now at the Blue Springs 9. Miller in shotgun with Lewandowski out to the left. Screen play, this one's up in the air. Is it intercepted? No, incomplete. Almost an interception. It looked like Carter Atagi almost came down with the interception, but a big sigh of relief for the Rockhurst offense.
Yeah, that would have been, I mean, Atagi, if he would have been able to pick that one off, the momentum that Blue Springs would have had, Austin, would have been insane. This place would have been dead silent over here, but the sideline over there would have erupted. But harmlessly falls to the ground is a big break there for Millers. That was a risky pass.
So now 3rd and 8 with 1 minute and 50 seconds to go in the third. 2 receivers out on both sides. Miller heaves one. Far sideline corner in the end zone. Incomplete. As Miller tried to connect with Tristan Johnson in the far corner of the end zone. And now Rockhurst is going to bring out their kicking unit to try and tie this game up at 17 apiece.
Yeah, Johnson, I mean, we talked about it just a few plays ago. He kind of had that 50-50 ball he was able to come down with, so I like the play call there. Miller with a good pass, catchable to Johnson, just unable to come down with it, but possible 50-50 ball for a touchdown. You still get the field goal hopefully here to tie it up. I like the call. Rockers knocks it all even as we are dialed in.
Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good from Connor Deverex from 26 yards out. We're tied here at 17 apiece. With 1:41 to go in the third quarter, we have a tie ball game here at 17 all. We'll go ahead and step aside for another brief commercial break. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
Connor Deverex knocks in a 26-yard field goal to tie this ball game up at 17 all. I'm Austin Eckert here for you inside the broadcast booth at Severino Field on the campus of Rockhurst High School. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and it's been a pretty good ball game here between these two teams. It's a top 20 A-10 varsity matchup with Blue Springs coming in this week as the 20th ranked team in the metro area, with Rockhurst coming in as the 5th ranked team in the Metroplex area. So now Rockhurst will kick it back to the Blue Springs Wildcats, who are looking to try and take the lead once again for the third time tonight.
Yeah, and I think if you're Blue Springs, just keep it on the ground. The running was working so well with Olberg. Give him a few more opportunities. We talked about it at halftime. We saw the kicker knock in the 55-yarder. Right before half, we saw him hit a big-time field goal too. So just get the lead back. Even if you can get a field goal here, points is what you need.
And the kickoff is going to be brought out to the 25 up to the 27. Looks like that's where he'll go down. So decent return there for Blue Springs. Again, they had a quick 3-and-out on their previous drive. However, the defense was able to hold the Rockhurst offense to only 3 points. Again, we're squared away here at 17 apiece. 1:32 to go in the third quarter. Wyatt Erickson and the Blue Springs offense back out on the field for the 4th time here in the second half. And we've seen Dante Olberg kind of carry the rock for them for most of the second half so far. We'll see if they keep turning to him and Corey Mayfield in the backfield. Staley will motion here on 1st and 10. Erickson fakes the handoff. He'll keep it himself to the right side and gets all the way up to the 33, it looks like. And he'll get a gain of 5.
Yeah, Erickson definitely had the option there to hand it to the receiver on the jet sweep, but, I mean, he held that out there for about as long as he possibly could before he decided to call his own number, picking up 6 yards there. So a good run from Erickson. As the running the ball, like I said, whether it's with, Olberg or Erickson calling his own number, the run has been open in the second half.
2nd and 4 after the 6-yard carry from Wyatt Erickson, as Olberg this time gets the call, and he'll get close to that first down marker at the 38. And I think he got just enough for the first down as he barely gets to the first down marker.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a big test for this Rockers team. We called their closest game when they were playing Lee Summit West, and they were able to come out on top. But in a game like this, you have a lot of players going both ways for Rockers. How tired are they going to be in a game that's just deadlocked right now at 17? So who's going to step up on this D-line and maybe get a stop in the backfield? We saw last time they had to punt it. It was a big tackle in the backfield. Who's going to make that play for the Hawkins?
30 seconds to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10. Olberg this time gets the call again. Bounces outside. Past midfield, and he'll go down at the 48 of Rockhurst. They say they have the ball.
And a late flag came out, too.
Yep. Notice that as well. Flag thrown at the 48-yard line of Blue Springs. And by the looks of it, right now, it looks like this could be coming back on Blue Springs, but you never know.
Yeah, and they're running the ball so well, and the one thing that kills the run game faster than anything is a penalty. So if this pushes them back, we'll see where this gets them. And you get into a situation where it forces you to throw the ball when you've been running so well. So this could be a detrimental penalty to this Wildcats drive.
So I think they're just trying to figure out where to spot the ball after the penalty. Again, not sure what the penalty was. The flag was thrown late. but this one's going to be coming back on Blue Springs as we have a personal foul penalty, I think.
So
At least from
second time we've seen a personal foul against Blue Springs. And both times, I mean, they did hurt a drive because right there, that takes away a massive run.
I mean, just it depends on how this game ends. But, I mean, these penalties, this could be something we'll be looking back on and going, man, if you take away both of those personal foul penalties, those unnecessary penalties, we could be talking maybe a little bit differently about Blue Springs in this game. But they are tied here on the road at 17 all. I mean, they've done the work necessary to stay in this game, but penalties like that will certainly not help. First and long here, 1st and 16 as Erickson fires this one over the middle, and this one's intended for Zay Height as this one's almost intercepted as Erickson threw that in double coverage. And Thomas Mojica looked like he tried to come down with that interception
and
back at the 40.
As close as you can get without having it. I mean, he had it all the way until he hit the ground. So almost a big-time turnover there. And, that whole play happens because of the personal foul. I mean, you're not taking that shot downfield as well as you're running the ball if you don't get that personal foul. So
absolutely,
that completely changes the trajectory of this game and obviously the trajectory of this drive.
So we'll likely get one more play here before the end of the third quarter. Trips out to the near side, one out to the far side, play action. And this one's going to be dropped. Is it a fumble? They're going to rule it an incomplete pass. Brock Banker looked like he came down with the catch, but dropped the ball almost immediately. So in that case, it's going to be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, definitely an incomplete pass there. I mean, he took a big hit as soon as the ball hit him in the chest. No chance to really haul that one in. It's now 3rd and 16 to go. So a drive that they were already past the 50-yard line. Now they're sitting back on their own 33, and you're just taking a shot downfield here. I mean, you have no other option.
3rd and long. One more play here before the end of the third quarter, dare we say. Erickson takes the snap and connects with Staley. He bobbles this one. This one's going to be caught down the near sideline past midfield. And he'll get pushed out of bounds near the 30. What a wild play. So Devin Staley tried to come down with the catch, and Zay Height was right there off the ricochet and got the big first down.
I mean, you'll never see something like that all season. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, it
wasn't quite the immaculate reception. Not quite, but it was pretty close.
Like you said, Staley, I mean, he was sitting there playing hot potato with the ball, and he kind of just bounced it on over, juggled it to Height. Height's just, once again, we talked about it, he was there for the tipped first touchdown that got tipped up, went right to Zay Height. Once again, Height's in the right place at the right time and able to hold that one in.
Well, that's how this third quarter will end, off of that wild play as Devin Staley tried to come down with the catch. Bobbled it. I mean, that's the third time we've seen Devin Staley bobble the ball tonight. We've seen 2 catches of his be bobbled. I mean, one ended up being a touchdown. But, there was that other play where he was lined up on defense, dropped what could have been maybe an interception. I mean,
and then the kickoff.
And the kickoff. I forgot to add that. Thank you.
I mean, although Staley's having a great game, a couple of those, but, I mean, right there, I mean, you can't make that up. He literally batted it to his own teammate.
Well, we'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. We're squared away at 17 apiece as we enter the fourth quarter here at Severino Field on the campus of Rockhurst High School.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
And we're back live on A10varsity.com. Austin Eckert here for you. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts as we enter the fourth quarter with a tie ball game at 17 apiece here in tonight's 8-10 varsity top 20 matchup, with Blue Springs coming in tonight's game as the 20th ranked team in the Metro, and Rockhurst coming in as the 5th ranked team in the Metro area. Rockhurst undefeated, 5-0 on the season. Blue Springs 3-2. Started off the season 3-0, but then had back-to-back losses against Staley, and then at home against Lee Summit North. They played Staley on the road a couple of weeks ago. But circling back to that Lee Summit North game that Blue Springs played in, it was a wild game for them. Mistakes on both sides, but Lee Summit North found a way to make more plays than Blue Springs did, and it was just about pretty much who had the ball last. And it was just a weird game, and Blue Springs also tossed a pick six to end that game to make it 41-28, as Erickson will just throw this one out of bounds on the far side as he tried to heave that ball deep down the middle of the field, but nothing going for Erickson as the incomplete pass now brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's a great play by Erickson. You're already pretty much in field goal range with the kicker you have. You don't take the shot into double coverage downfield. Just throw it away, move on to the next play. You're still 2nd down, a lot of opportunities to even get this 1st down. So a really smart play there by Erickson.
I'm still trying to process what the heck happened at the end of the 3rd quarter. I mean, that was just one of the most wild plays I think I've seen in a long time. You don't see those types of plays happen very often. Once in a million, as Olberg gets the call all the way up to the 25. And the ball came out. Did Rockhurst come away with it? Hold your breath for a second. Rockhurst says they have the ball, but Blue Springs is arguing that Olberg went down before he fumbled it.
Yeah, the far judge, I think, is ruling him down, trying to keep this ball with Blue Springs. I don't think they will get a fumble here.
So a big sigh of relief this time for Blue Springs. I mean, I said that earlier about Rockhurst, where Miller almost tossed an interception in the end zone on their previous drive. But Blue Springs still hangs on to the ball here with 11:31 to go in this game. Tied up at 17 all. Trips out to the near side, one out to the far side. Erickson in shotgun. He'll hand the ball off to the left side. And only a gain of maybe 1 or 2 yards. Won't be enough for
4th down now. 4th and short. You're probably in field goal range. You can take the lead, but
you have a kicker.
You're on the road at number 5 Rockers. You don't win a game like this taking 3. You got to go for the touchdown. I like the call. I think you just hand it off to Olberg here and let him find you the 1st down.
Under 11 minutes to go. 4th down and 1 at the 23, and there is a flag thrown right before the snap, and this one could be coming back on Rockhurst. So a big penalty here for this Blue Springs offense. They finally get a penalty to go their way. With the way the penalties have gone so far tonight in this game, I mean, Blue Springs has really hurt themselves on both offense and defense with these penalties, but and now an encroachment penalty gives them an automatic first.
This drive has had so much things go in the way of Blue Springs ever since that personal foul. You talk about the bobble one, the play that were on the big 3rd and 17 to pick up, and then right there, what's the best 4th and 1 play call? A hard count. You don't even have to snap the ball, and that's exactly what they did.
2 receivers out to the near side, bunched out to the far side. Quick pass play. It's caught at the 10-yard line, and that's where he'll go down. A quick pass play from Erickson as he connects with Corey Mayfield this time. He'll be close to that 1st down marker. He'll be just a yard or 2 shy. So only a couple of yards here for the Wildcats before they can make it 1st and goal.
And what a great play there by Erickson. He definitely, that whole play design is on him. He sells the handoff so well to Olberg out of the backfield. He got all those linebackers to kind of step downfield. He's able to just sling it in there on the RPO, find Mayfield open in the slot.
Trips bunched out to the far side this time, 2nd and short. And Erickson's going to fake the handoff, runs it up the middle, and he'll get enough for the 1st down. The ball came out again. Does Rockhurst come away with the fumble? And they do! I think, at least, I'm a little bit confused here. Both teams are still on the field. I thought initially Rockhurst had come away with a fumble. The far side official said that it was Rockhurst's ball for a second, but I think he got overruled there.
Yeah, he motioned Rockhurst football, and then the white cap disagreed. And it's going to stay. That's the 2nd fumble that was in question that possibly could have given Rockhurst the ball.
Hand off to Olberg. Still on his feet. Past the 5. He'll get all the way up to the 4. So only just a couple yards away from punching it into the end zone. But That's going to be something that you and I will probably talk about at the end of the game, Kate. I mean, 2 fumbles, that who knows? But, I mean, it's hard to tell from our angle since we're all the way up here. I mean, the fumble happened all the way, we're pretty far away from.
Yeah, you kind of just have to trust in the officials.
It's just the angle, it's hard to tell for us, but something to talk about potentially later on as Staley lines up in the Wildcat, runs it up the middle, fighting to the goal line. He's going to be stopped just short.
Yeah, just about 1 yard to go now on a 3rd and goal. They sent the offense out there on 4th. I think if you don't get it here, they're going to go for it on 4th regardless. So I think right here, I like a stretch, maybe a speed option out of the Wildcat, something to get the defense moving one way and not maybe just run it right up the middle. Because I think right now Rockhurst is selling out up the middle. If you can get something on the edge, you might be able to walk into the end zone.
And we're potentially talking about 4th down territory here for Blue Springs. Obviously, you don't want to settle for a field goal after the kind of drive that they've put together. 3rd and goal at the 1. Erickson lining up under center. Erickson hands it off. Left side and stopped just short. It's a stone wall for this Rockhurst defense as they come up with a stop on 3rd down, and now 4th down coming up. A big decision here for head coach Jed Paulson.
I don't think he lost the yard. He might have gained half a yard, so now a massive 4th down, and this one for Blue Springs. We'll see what the decision is.
Everybody here at Severino Field on their feet. 4th down and goal. And we have a timeout on the field as Rockhurst will use their 2nd timeout of the 2nd half here with 7 minutes and 22 seconds to go. We're tied at 17 all. 4th and goal coming up at the 1 yard line. We could be talking about the biggest play of the game pretty soon. But with that, we'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. But when we come back, it will be 4th and goal at the 1 yard line.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
And we welcome you back. So we have 4th and goal coming up for the Wildcats with 7 minutes and 22 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. Austin Eckert here for you. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts. It's been a pretty good ball game here between these two squads, and I think we knew coming into tonight's game, with this being a top 20 matchup in the metro area, we were going to see a close game. I mean, both teams, it's always been a good matchup. I said it in the opening. And it's been a good one here tonight. But here we go. Possibly the biggest play of the game coming up.
Rockhurst had a quarterback sneak earlier. We'll see if Blue Springs goes for that as well.
Erickson lines up under center. 4th and goal. Handoff up the middle. And does he get in? Yes! Touchdown, Blue Springs.
A massive touchdown on 4th and 1, maybe less than 1. You don't get a play like that. The whole momentum swings to Rockhurst. They get a lot of the momentum. It would stay tied. That right there, how does Rockhurst answer back from that? Because you could feel the air and the momentum get sucked out of this sideline when he crossed the goal line.
Romero on to attempt the extra point. Snap is down. Kick is up, and it is good. And so for the 3rd time tonight, Blue Springs takes the lead with 7 minutes and 19 seconds to go. On 4th and goal at the 1, Dante Olberg finds his way into the end zone as the Wildcats retake the lead here over the Hawklets. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. When we come back, Rockhurst will have the ball with a chance to tie it up once again.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have
It
a
was
busted
Olberg that
spring?
got it
If
right.
you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
And we welcome you back as Blue Springs retakes the lead for the third time tonight from a 1-yard touchdown run from Dante Olberg to make the score 24-17 Blue Springs. Cesar Romero getting ready to kick this one back to the Hawklets. Again, Rockhurst looking to tie it up here at home, looking to defend their home turf. And Blue Springs having themselves a game so far tonight. And Romero boots this one away. It's an end-over-end kick. And this one will be ruled a touchback as Lewandowski tried to bring it out, but the head official rules it a touchback, so Rockhurst will get the ball once again at their own 20.
Yeah, and for Rockhurst, I mean, you just lost the lead, obviously, down by 7 now. I think you just have to stick with what's been working. Some of those screen plays have been hitting big for them in this game. Trying to run the ball a little bit more with Cash Lewandowski, try to get him in some open space. He's not had the biggest of nights for the Rock, so we'll see what they go for here and try to answer back. You just can't let this shake you that much. It's still a one-score game and a lot of game left to be played.
Absolutely. 7 minutes and 19 seconds to go in this game. Rockhurst down by a touchdown, and they've been in this situation already tonight. And we'll see if they can tie it up once again. Miller on 1st and 10. Fakes the pitch. And gets it out to Lewandowski, and a hard hit at the 22-yard line. Oh, boy. Is that who I think it was? I think that was Devin Staley that came up with the hit. And obviously, you know, we've been talking about him juggling, you know, a couple of catches here and there. He's obviously very frustrated about that. Took his anger out on Cass Lewandowski right there.
Yeah, I mean, Staley's been playing both ways all night long for the Wildcats, and you can say he's got a ton of energy left, laying a massive hit on Lewandowski. I'm surprised Lewandowski didn't fumble that one. That was a big hit. Props to both players, A, on holding on to the ball, and B, being there for the play.
A gain of 3 brings up 2nd and 7. Miller fires this one to the near side. Caught right around the 30. He'll get tackled at the 29, and coming down with the catch once again is Tristan Johnson.
Yeah, Tristan Johnson been the jump ball receiver for Rockers all night long, fighting for the first down, and then he gets ragdolled down, but a big play there to get the first down.
Johnson went down a little bit hard at the end of the play, but he'll go off to the sideline to get a quick breather. But a big catch there for Tristan Johnson once again. It's now going to set up 1st and 10 here with just over 6 minutes to go.
As Hayes checks in the backfield, haven't called his number that much tonight.
Miller dropping back to pass, rolls out to his right. Looking downfield, there's a flag thrown. And he'll just throw this one towards the far sideline. I don't know if he caught that, but a flag thrown back at the 23, so this could be coming back on Rockhurst.
Yeah, possible holding call there. You watched Miller roll out as soon as he hiked the football. The offensive line kind of got swarmed, and the Rockers looks like they're going to be moving back here.
Yeah, you can see Miller having some extra time in the pocket as he rolled out to his right. And I saw on the edge, a defender was trying to get around and, up in the shoulder area, horse collar area. Obviously,
that's too bad.
Rather giving up
there, Austin, if that was a catch on the sideline. I mean, Miller looked like he was just going to run out of bounds and then slings it last second to his man on the sideline. Of course, we'll never really know if that's caught or not after the penalty, but now a 1st and long for Rockers.
Under 6 minutes to go, 1st and 20 after the penalty. Miller looking downfield. Heaves this one over the middle of the field down the near sideline, and incomplete as Miller again tried to connect with Tristan Johnson down on the near sideline. And great coverage right there by Zay Height and Wesley Jones.
Yeah, Height, the other receiver. So it's, for this Blue Springs squad, they have both receivers running defensive backs for them on the defensive side of the ball. Just keeping that speed on both sides is so key for them. And right there, trying to go right back to Johnson, and great coverage by Height, able to knock that one out last second as it was a one-on-one. They had a real opportunity there.
Now it's going to bring up 2nd and 20. So maybe give the ball to your running back here in the game currently, Ben Hayes. 2 receivers out on both sides. Miller dropping back to pass again. This time he connects with Blake Thomas, and he'll pick up the first down as he'll get tackled at the Rockhurst 45.
Yeah, Blake Thomas on just a simple crossing route, able to catch the ball in stride, and then it was off to the races, able to pick up a timely first down there as we're entering just under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, trailing by 7. It's a big play for Rockers to keep the momentum.
And that's exactly what Rockhurst needed. They need some sort of a big pass play to go their way, and this time they get one to go thanks to Blake Thomas. So now 1st and 10 at their own 45 with just over 5 minutes to go. 24-17, Blue Springs leads it. Lewandowski's going to motion out to the far side. Empty backfield for Miller. Heaves one down over the middle of the field, and it's caught by Blake Thomas at the 20, 15, at the 10, at the 5, end zone, touchdown, Rockhurst. And we are an extra point away from a tie ball game once again.
I mean, talk about timing there. Miller takes an absolute shot as he just launches that one downfield. It was a little underthrown, but the ball tracking ability there to haul that one in by Thomas and then off to the races, making one man miss at around the 5-yard line, strolling in for a touchdown. A big play there for Rockers, and that's going to possibly, like you said, an extra point away, tie this one up.
Connor Deverex on to attempt the extra point. Look to tie it up here at 24 apiece. Snap is down. There's some flags thrown right before the snap got off. I think Blue Springs might have jumped early unless there was some movement up front for Rockhurst.
Like a false start on Rockers, so this extra point just got a little bit more difficult.
Well, things have gotten more interesting here with that false start penalty. And
his last few extra points have been good from an extra distance, but, you know, it just adds to the pressure. You think you just made it, now you got to go do it again.
And Deverex knocked one in from 26 yards out earlier. We'll see if he can knock down this long extra point in here. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is no good! Line drive, kick sails wide to the left. And Blue Springs hangs on to their lead. They only lead it by 1 now, but the false start penalty unfortunately takes away the opportunity for Rockhurst to tie the game up at 24-all.
Yeah, I mean, Rockers has been the more disciplined team tonight out of these two squads, but right there, the penalty that could possibly cost them the game, now trailing by 1 point, an opportunity to tie it up erased.
So Connor Deverex misses the extra point after Blake Thomas was able to find his way into the end zone thanks to a long touchdown pass from Garrett Miller. And this game's gotten a lot more interesting. And so now, you know, Rockhurst is in a situation where you're down by a point. You know, you got to get some stops, got to find a way to get your offense the ball back. But, I mean, what do you do if you score a touchdown, you know, late? I mean, do you try and go for 2, or do you just kick the extra point and hope that your defense can do their job? But it's going to be an interesting decision if we get to that point.
Yeah, and I think if you're Rockers, if you do get to that point, would you hope maybe you get a field goal and a touchdown, and never you have to cross that bridge, but you got to go for 2. I mean, you got to go for the tie, especially already in the second half. You got to imagine by the time you'd be in a situation like that, it'd probably be the fourth quarter.
Henry Tevisandu kick this one away for Rockhurst. Again, the missed extra point from Connor Deverex makes this a 24-23 ball game with just under 5 minutes to go.
And I think the even more important question is not going for 2, but on the flip side of that, if you're the Wildcats, your field goal, it's a 4-point game. It's no longer a field goal game. So even a field goal can force Rockers to need a touchdown to take the lead.
And Height's going to field this one inside the 5 as he spins around a defender at the 15. Still on his feet at the 20, and he'll go down on the near sideline at the 22.
Rockers' defensive drive ago had a couple of chances where it looked like they had the Wildcats stopped. We go back to the play where Staley patted the ball to Height, who was able to catch it and off to the races on what was a 3rd and 16 conversion. So Rockers' defense is just going to stick with it. They were doing good that drive. A couple of things obviously didn't break their way, but they need a stop now for their offense.
Well, I tell you what, you know, the penalties have really hurt Blue Springs tonight, but for them to still hang on to their lead. They're only up by one, granted, make the extra point. We have a tie ball game, completely different story. But, it's been impressive to see Blue Springs continuing to fight, even though they've had these penalties rack up on them on both sides of the ball. And now they get the ball back at their own 22 here on 1st and 10 as Oldberg gets the call again. Who gave them? Oh, there's a fumble! The ball comes out, and oh my goodness! They picked it up down the near sideline at the 30, at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Blue Springs! Are you kidding me? I have never seen a play like that before. I've probably seen it in some other games, and but I have never seen anything like that. And we saw that tipped pass play earlier before the end of the third quarter. I am absolutely speechless.
I'm looking on the field for laundry when a play like that. There's a fumble. Everyone's diving for the football, but then Staley comes up with it. Staley has had one of the craziest nights. He bobbled the pass earlier. He gets there, and then this time he's there and picks up the fumble.
I thought the play was dead. I thought the play had ended, and it was still going.
Yeah, not very many times do you fumble the ball on offense and wind up with a touchdown. The ball has just been kind of rolling Staley's way tonight.
I don't even know what to say. There's some conversations going on at the end of the play, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, but...
Yeah, Rockhurst is definitely arguing something to the Whitecap, but right now it's a touchdown.
Looks like excessive celebration on Blue Springs, but yeah, they're going to get
it.
Wow. So Devin Staley picks up the fumble and takes it in for 6 on a 78-yard score. Well, for those of you on 810 Sports Radio, we want to welcome you into our live presentation of Missouri High School football. I'm Austin Eckert here. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and we had one of the wildest plays happen right in front of our eyes. I'm gonna be thinking about that for the next few days.
So for you people listening on 810, obviously you can't see it with your eyes visually. It was a run by Oldberg who coughed up the football, and then the ball's just rolling around on the ground, and the wide receiver Staley for the Blue Springs Wildcats was able to pick it up and run for about a 70-yard touchdown. Used every ounce of his speed to outrun the Rockhurst defenders. And with this extra point,
is up and good. And we saw Cesar Romero during warm-ups at halftime kick some long field goals and knock them all through and gets the long extra point to go up and through the uprights. So it's now an 8-point game with one of the wildest touchdowns I've ever seen in my life. Well, a crazy play indeed, as Blue Springs here leads it 31-23 with 4 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And Rockhurst, I thought it was a fumble, and I thought they had called the play dead, but it was still going. I think that's what kind of, left me speechless in the spur of the moment. But boy, that was something else. But we'll see what happens here for the rest of this game as we have just over 4.5 minutes to go. 31-23, Blue Springs leads it as they look to pull off a big upset victory here on the road after losing back-to-back games on the road at Staley and then at home against Lee Summit North. Rockhurst coming off of a shutout victory over Bishop Miege last week, and what was a very dominant game, a game that Rockhurst won from the very first snap. But now Blue Springs.
This game for Blue Springs, the football has just kind of rolled their way a handful of times, and on the fumble touchdown there, it rolled their way. There was a batted pass that got caught and ran in for a touchdown. So just a lot of things have gone the Wildcats' way. The football gods are looking down on them right now. And for Rockhurst, you're still only down by 8, so how can you get back into this football game is going to be the question.
Lewandowski's going to bring this one out all the way up to the 23. There is a flag thrown at the end of the play. So we'll see what the flag is for. This could be, I don't know, it looks like could be on Blue Springs. We'll see what the call is in just a second.
Yeah, for Rockhurst, you hope this is on Blue Springs. Anything would help right now in this one. You've got to get some kind of momentum going. You've got to find something, and we've nicknamed him Mr. Momentum. That's Cash Lewandowski, one of the star players for Rockhurst. They can get the ball to him on a screen, something out wide to just get him the football, get him going. It's going to be huge for Rockers. They've just got to take a step back, take a deep breath, and then realize you're only down by one possession. I know a lot of things have just gone against you. You had the false start on the extra point to would have tied a game. The game was 24-23. Blue Springs. Rockers goes to attempt the extra point. There's a false start. They got to do it again, and they miss it. Makes it that 1 point differential, and then the fumble touchdown. Now trailing by 8. As Rockers has taken a lot of time with their offense on the sideline. Obviously, the coach is trying to settle their team down to get them locked in. What's going to be a longer drive now, too, because that penalty on the kickoff was against Rockers.
Yeah, and that penalty, of course, can't have that happen in the latter minutes of this game. It was a decent kickoff return. They got all the way up to the 24, but now with the penalty, they'll be moved back to the 13. Correction, they were down at the 23, so a 10-yard penalty moves them back to the 13. Now 1st and 10 here for Rockhurst. With 4.5 minutes to go as Miller rolls out to the far side, looking downfield, trying to get the throw away, and this one's incomplete as he tried to connect with Tristan Johnson on the far sideline. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Cash Lewandowski, I mean, he was under pressure instantly from Johnson, from Blue Springs. He took the hike, and then, he had to roll out right as soon as he got the football, so just kind of throw that one away and live on to the next play. 2nd and 10. For Rockers, though, they have seemingly just abandoned the run game. There's not very many carries in this one, especially when you got a guy like Lewandowski. And even, we've seen Hoppinger, the fullback. He's had success running the football, too. So you got to see what their game plan here is. But they're trying to roll out a lot with Miller, and he's just not been able to find anybody open.
Ben Hayes, the sophomore running back, checks into the game here for Rockhurst with 4:24 to go in the 4th as Miller keeps it himself to the near side, and down he goes at the 10 for a loss of 3. Nowhere to go for Garrett Miller, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long. We do have an injury on the field as we have an injured Hawklet back down at the 9-yard line. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. We'll be back here in we'll go ahead and just keep it on the air for right now, but we'll just kind of recap what's been going on here in these past few minutes or so, and it's just been a blur. It really has. I mean, that fumble, that resulted in a touchdown, I don't think I've seen anything like that. I mean, we saw something similar to the immaculate reception earlier, and now we had a crazy play like that to give Blue Springs, the extra padding here in this game, up by 8 points.
Yeah, and ever since that fumble touchdown, the momentum has just been on this Blue Springs side, whether it's the offense or the defense. This defense is playing inspired. They know they started out 3-0 on the season. They dropped 2 games, but an upset on the road at Rockers is just what they need to get their season back on track. And this defense is giving you everything they got, as it is going to be a big 3rd down now for Rockers, needing about 15 yards for the 1st down. And unfortunately for Miller, he's under pressure every play. He does not have a lot of time to find anything downfield.
2 receivers split out wide on both sides here on 3rd and long. Miller looking down the field, and it's intercepted at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, end zone. Touchdown, Blue Springs.
About the worst result you could have for Rockers. A very unfortunate break there. It's a pick 6 for Blue Springs. They are already up 8. Now it's going to make your score 37-23. Blue Springs over Rockers. And this sideline for Rockers, they are stunned as some of the parents are now shuffling out of the stadium. As just a gasp from this sideline, and that is going to be a hard score to overcome.
Brody Foreman coming up with the pick 6 to make this 37-23 as Romero comes on to attempt the extra point. Wyatt Erickson to hold. Here's the snap. High snap. Kick is up, and it is good. And it's now 38-23. Blue Springs over Rockhurst. Wow.
There's so much to break down in this game. It's hard to even contemplate some of the things that have transpired over even the last 4 minutes in game time. And at the 8-minute mark, this game was 24-23. You blinked, and now it's 38-23 Blue Springs. On the flip side, Rockers kind of had control of this game the entire first half, and now Blue Springs has turned up the dial, and they are locked in now. And for Rockers offense, answering back after a pick 6, this is going to be a long drive for them to try to find some points to just cut this back to hopefully an 8-point game.
Well, not a lot of time left on the clock here with just 4 minutes to go. I mean, it's going to be hard for Rockhurst to come back after that kind of a play that ends up in a touchdown and then that pick six. Boy, Blue Springs, they came in here ready to play tonight, and it's been very, very evident. 38-23, a 15-point lead. So let's play a little game called Hypotheticals. Hypotheticals, all right? So if Rockhurst, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the game. You know, Rockhurst is capable of producing a long touchdown play or whatever, whether it's a pass or a run. I mean, they're capable of doing it, so they can score quickly, but they're going to have to do it extremely quick. I mean, you know, you got to score, and I don't go for the 2-point conversion just yet because you're going to have to do that at some point. So I would say, you know, touchdown. If they get the onside kick, then you're going to have to score again and also get that 2-point conversion to tie it up at 38 all. But
Austin,
the kickoff's going to go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
It would sound like you're saying it's a slim chance. They're going to have a lot go their way in this final 4 minutes to find themselves even with an opportunity to tie this game, to possibly send it into overtime. But it starts right here on this drive. I mean, this drive right here, yes, it's got to be quick. You don't want to waste any of your timeouts. You want to save those. And if I'm them, I don't want to kick an onside kick. That's just a low percentage play. If in a perfect world, you'll march down here as quick as possible. You'll find the touchdown. You'll kick the extra point. You don't go for 2 till you need it. And then you'll try to get the stop with your defense. A lot of things have got to go Rocker's way. But, never say never.
Never say never indeed. Rockhurst, they only have 1 timeout left to work with here in the fourth quarter. Down by 15. And like Kate said, they're going to have some things go their way quickly if they want to have any chance of staying in this game. 38-23, Blue Springs over Rockhurst. 4:06 left to go in the fourth. Miller drops back to pass and heaves one down the near sideline, incomplete, as he tried to connect with Cash Lewandowski.
Yeah, Lewandowski just on a wheel route there out of the backfield, possibly open, but just overthrown by Miller and sails out of bounds.
So now 2nd and 10. That stops the clock at 4:02 exactly.
Obviously, they kind of came out in that 4 wide receivers spread out. Cash Lewandowski trying to find anything downfield. Everyone was running down. I mean, they definitely are going to start taking shots towards the end zone, trying to find an explosive play like their counterpart, Blue Springs, has found a lot in this game.
2nd and 10 at their own 20 here for Rockhurst. Miller dropping back to pass again. Rolls out to the far side, and it's complete at the 32, up to the 40, and he'll go down at the 42. So it'll be enough for a Rockhurst first down as Garrett Miller connects with Cash Lewandowski again. It'll be enough for a Rockhurst first down.
Yeah, and they're going to stand that hurry up now. Speed things up. It's your only option.
Tempo here from this Rockhurst offense. Miller dropping back to pass again. And connects with Lewandowski again at the 40, and he'll go out of bounds at the 44.
Yeah, big job there by Lewandowski. He caught it on the near sideline and almost got tackled in bounds, was able to make the first man miss and sneak out of bounds to stop the clock, let his teammates, including himself, catch their breath. But Miller is running around in the backfield like a madman, trying to find anybody open downfield to keep this game alive.
So Lewandowski runs out of bounds to stop the clock with 3 minutes and 36 seconds to go here in the fourth. 38-23 Blue Springs over Rockhurst. 2 receivers out to the near side, 1 out to the far side. Miller dropping back to pass again for the 4th play in a row. Rolls out to the near side. No one open downfield and has to throw this one out of bounds. Incomplete, but he threw it into the direction this time to Tristan Johnson, but nothing going there for Garrett Miller.
Yeah, once again, Miller just forced to kind of roll out of the pocket, not comfortable at all in the backfield, and like you said, trying to find his popular target tonight, Tristan Johnson, who had that 70-yard touchdown on the screen earlier in the game, but right there, just not enough real estate to really work with to get that one completed.
3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the fourth. 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Hawklets.
Definitely 2-play territory here. You don't need all 7 yards in one play, but down to 3:30 in this game, you're going to need to start picking up some more yards fast.
Trips bunched out to the far side this time. Miller dropping back to pass. Looking at Cash Lewandowski, and he connects with him as he'll get close to the first down marker as he'll get tackled right at midfield. But it'll bring up 4th and short.
They're going to have to hurry up and just go for it on this 4th and short as they're going to get to the line of scrimmage as he was tackled in bounds. That clock continues to run.
And Rockhurst, again, they only have 1 timeout left to work with here in the second half. 4th and 1 at midfield. Handoff, first down, And a couple more for Cash Lewandowski.
Yeah, just a simple handoff up the middle. They hurried up into that play just to get it off to make sure they got the first down. Blue Springs was kind of on their heels there, just defending the end zone, and kind of gave up the easy run for 2 yards for Lewandowski. That'll keep this drive alive for Rockers with a little bit of hope.
So now 1st and 10 after the 4th and 1 pickup from Cash Lewandowski. Miller looking downfield. He's flushed, rolls out to the near side with some pressure in front of him. Has to heave one down the near sideline. Incomplete, intended for Tristan Johnson. And great coverage right there by Zay Height.
Yeah, Zay Height and Tristan were definitely playing some hand-fighting games downfield. His Height was a little slow to get up after that incomplete pass. And once again, I mean, Miller's doing everything he can to just find somebody open downfield. But that time, the defensive ends for the Wildcats were patient. They kind of waited for him to roll out on that contain, and he's kind of rolling himself out into the pressure. Might need to just stand in the pocket and see if he can find something downfield.
2:34 left to go. 2nd and 10 at the Blue Springs 48. And Rockhurst, they desperately need a big play right here. Empty backfield this time for Miller. Quick pass out to the near side. It's caught at the 40. Down the near sideline at the 30, 20, and he'll get tackled at the 17. And this time, Garrett Miller connects this time with
Warren Robertson.
Warren Robertson there.
Robertson just chopped down, like he said, at about the 20-yard line, but a big pickup there for Rockers will keep this drive alive. And Robinson was actually tackled out of bounds, so was able to stop the clock, which is really important for this Rockers offense, kind of trying to catch their breath here. Just 2:26 to go in the 4th quarter, down 38-23.
Well, for Rockers, they certainly have not been in a position like this where they're down by more than just one possession here at home. Quick pass play out to the near side to Ben Hayes. Jukes a defender at the 15, and he'll get pushed out of bounds right at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, great blocking by the receiving core of Rockers on the near sideline to spring Hayes for the first down.
So now 1st and goal here coming up for Rockhurst with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the 4th. Down by 15, 38-23 Blue Springs. And they're taking some time getting the play, and they've only got 12 seconds left on the play clock, so they're going to have to line up quick. 1st and goal at the 10. Miller in shotgun, and we have a couple of whistles blown right before the snap, and Blue Springs is going to use a timeout here with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and so they'll use their second timeout and talk things over as Rockhurst looking to fight their way back into this ball game, looking to make it a one-possession game. And, I mean, 1st and goal here at the 10. I mean, well, what's the game plan you think here, Cade, for Rockhurst?
Well, for Rockers, I mean, it's simple. You got to score. There's no other option here. You have to find a touchdown, and you'd rather find it on 1st down than 4th down, just to try to save yourself any amount of time. Now, granted, what they're thinking, an onside kick, or if they're going to punt it away or kick it off, I'm not sure. It's a tough call. 2:20 to go. It just depends on kind of where you score, how much time's left. You still have your timeouts, and you're going to need every single one of them if you want to see this ball again. The Rockers' defense on the flip side of that has had a nice rest on the sideline during this drive, maybe caught their breath. And this flip side, Blue Springs, their offense has been ice cold, sitting on the sideline. But I think the onside kick might be the way to go if you're able to find points here.
So we're back underway here with 2:20 left to go in this game. 1st and goal, Garrett Miller lining up in shotgun. We have a whistle blown right before the snap, and I think the officials were just making sure everything was on board as Miller rolls out to the far side. This one's going to be caught at the 10 by Blake Thomas, and he'll fight his way up to the 6 for only a gain of 4 on the pass play. It'll bring up 2nd and goal at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, we're about to roll under 2 minutes to go as they were trying to hurry up into this one. They got to find it fast. Look down. I like this matchup one-on-one on the near side. You got Tristan Johnson, possible jump ball to the far pylon.
Miller takes the snap on 2nd and goal, rolls out to the near side at the 10, fires this one into the end zone, and caught! Touchdown, Rockhurst. Tristan Johnson comes down with the catch for his 2nd touchdown of the evening.
Yeah, I don't mean to pat my own back back on that one, Austin, but I kind of saw that one-on-one coverage to your jump ball receiver in a position like this. It's a great play by Miller. He was able to roll out. The snap was actually a low snap that skipped into Miller. He was just lucky to even handle that one, let alone roll away from the pressure and find his big receiver, Tristan Johnson, like you said, for his second touchdown of the night.
Connor Deverex on to attempt the extra point. Missed his previous extra point attempt a moment ago as this one's blocked. However, there is going to be a flag thrown right before the snap got off.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be too many men on the field for Blue Springs. They're doing a late substitution. So what this is going to do for Rockers, it's going to move the ball up a little bit. You need a two-point conversion at some point, and you just got that much closer. I think this is the chance to go for two. Granted, if you don't get it, this game is definitely over.
Well, it does appear that since Blue Springs had too many men on the field, Rockhurst is going to go ahead and try and make it a touchdown game rather here, as Blue Springs currently leads it by 9. But I think Rockhurst is going to talk things over. I think the officials are telling them to, hey, come on, let's get it going here. So I think Rockhurst is going to go for
taking their time on this play call, but this is a big play here. I mean, you've got to get this two-point conversion. If you don't get it, the game's over. I think the call for me would be go to the fullback, Coppinger. He's able to get the tough yards. You only need about one. Just pound it in there and find it.
Miller lining up under center, pitches it back out to Lewandowski, and he's not going to get in for the two-point conversion. So only 6 points for the Rockhurst offense. And now they're down by 9.
Yeah, in all likelihood, that just ended this game. I mean, you can't ask for better pursuit out of your linebackers for Blue Springs. They shot through the hole on a pitch play to Lewandowski, and he was just stifled in the backfield. Really had no opportunity to find any lane before he was dragged down. And you could just hear the sideline erupt for Blue Springs as they can feel it now. This would be a big upset. Obviously, we talked about it on the 8-10 varsity top 25. Coming into this one, Blue Springs was number 20. Rockers is number 5. Blue Springs had just dropped 2 games in a row. But a win like this on the road at number 5 Rockers, I mean, that's going to propel your season in the right trajectory.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. But now you're down by 9. You don't get the two-point conversion. I think there's really not a whole lot Rockers can do unless they want to go ahead and try to get the onside kick and get the ball back right away. But, I mean,
down by 9.
Not a whole lot of options
Down
here.
by 9, Austin. I think you're going to have to go with the onside kick, try to get the ball back to your offense, and then just score quickly. And then from there, your guess is as good as mine what you can do, because there is no 9-point play in football.
No, you can't kick 3 field goals at once. I'm sorry, but
yeah, right. We won't allow that.
I mean, in the XFL or the UFL, whatever you want to call it, there is something where they do 3-point tries, 2-point tries, or just a 1-point try with the extra point. But we don't have those rules here in high school football, as Staley comes up with the recovery at the 47-yard line of Blue Springs. And so Blue Springs are going to draw out the rest of this clock likely.
Yeah, a skipping, hopping onside kick there, but true hands from the receiver. Staley, who's had a big night tonight for the Wildcats, able to recover that one cleanly. And that's going to set up their offense at midfield, as I think they'll just run this ball, take the time off. Rockers might use their timeouts. I'm not sure if they will. Down by 9 with 1:43 to go here in the fourth quarter. That all but should finish this one out as a big win for Blue Springs. And I don't think a lot of people anticipated this. I mean, if you were just looking at records, a lot of people would have thought, oh, Rockers is undefeated. They're number 5. But Blue Springs, this is a good team. They had some tough losses. Team. I think they might have overlooked Staley a little bit, and that game kind of snuck up on them. There it is. There's the victory formation for you.
Yeah, so Blue Springs going to take a couple of kneels, and that's going to end the ball game here at Severino Field. And a big upset win for head coach Jed Paulson and his crew. And they snap the back-to-back losing streak that they had against Staley on the road and then Lee Summit North at home last week. They brought out their pent-up anger and frustration from last week's game tonight. And I've got to say, it's like I said earlier, it's very evident that Blue Springs came in here ready to play. And I mean, when both of these teams match up, I mean, you're always going to get a good game. I mean, just looking historically, Rockhurst had a four-game winning streak against the Wildcats, and then Blue Springs snapped that 4-game winning streak last year. And now they come on the road and they pick up a huge upset win.
And for Rockers, we watched them play on the road at West. We were lucky enough to call that game for 8-10 varsity. And in that game, we watched Rockers in a back-and-forth fight with a 1-4 right now Lee Summit West team. So we saw there was a kink in the armor of this Rockers football team, and tonight the Wildcats were just able to run away with that. I mean, what a game by Blue Springs pulling off this upset. As now the players will rejoice and celebrate as that final knee will seal the deal for the Wildcats.
And that's your ball game, folks. The 20th ranked Blue Springs Wildcats in the 8-10 varsity top 25 rankings. They come into Severino Field at Rockhurst High School, and they hand the Hawklets their first loss of the season as they win it 38-29. Well, what a ball game we had here tonight. For this being a game, I got to have the opportunity to broadcast on my birthday. It was a rather very exciting matchup, and both teams, put together some good performances tonight. But Blue Springs, they made a lot more plays than Rockhurst did on all three sides of the ball, and they got some stops when they needed to and had some luck on their side as well. Without that, we could be talking a lot differently with this game.
Well, we talked about it at halftime. I mean, this was a close game. Blue Springs, to try to pull away from this one, we said they need to clean up the penalties, and that's exactly what they did there, especially the fourth quarter. I don't think they had really any penalties on the Wildcats. They played clean football, and the football gods, I kind of mentioned it earlier, had a lot of things kind of go their way. The fumble recovered by Blue Springs, that was returned. And then once again, they had the bobbled pass that was tipped by one player to his other receiver, who was able to catch it off the tip and run it in for another touchdown. I mean, that's two 70-yard touchdowns, 14 points to Blue Springs off of plays that you just don't see every day.
Yeah, you don't see that every day, indeed. I mean, the play where they fumbled it and then Staley picked it up, ran it for a 78-yard touchdown. I mean, those are plays that it's a one in a million type of play. And the fact that we got to see one of those tonight was rather very exciting and very interesting indeed. I think that was the play that really sucked the air out of the crowd tonight here at Rockhurst. And
absolutely. And then I think looking forward to for the Wildcats here, they're going to improve to 4-2 on the season. And next week they play Park Hill South. Not to be overlooked, but Park Hill South, they're on the road. That should be a winnable game. Park Hill South is just, like I said, 1-4 on the season. So Blue Springs with a real opportunity to improve to 5-2 on the year. And for the Hawklets, they got a tough game coming up. I mean, they're now 5-1. They have they're on the road at St. Thomas Aquinas. And Aquinas was 4-0 coming into the night. So I'm not sure what the scores of those games look like and how those records have changed for Aquinas and Park Hill, but another tough opponent is up for Rockers playing St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, that's going to wrap it up here at Severino Field in Kansas City, Missouri at Rockhurst High School as Blue Springs comes away with the upset victory tonight over Rockhurst. Your final score, Blue Springs 38, Rockhurst 29. Austin Eckert here for you. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts. Whether you're tuning in on 810 Sports Radio or on 810varsity.com, thank you all so much for listening to us tonight, and thank you all for choosing to spend your Friday evening with us, and we hope you all enjoyed tonight's game, and it was very exciting indeed, and we'll hope to see you all for the next one right here on 810varsity.com. Final score, Blue Springs 38, Rockhurst 29. Thank you all